It's me. Have I received any death threats since my last XRP post? No, not yet. I got flagged as spam on 4 posts. So, oh, I've got sound turned on. This is my amazing GIF of when they fixed the comments, by the way. So this is why this is why I don't always reply to everyone when they send me messages on eToro, because genuinely it's pretty impossible to do. So hopefully this kind of illustrates that point. On CoinMarketCap at the moment. Let's remove that massive, humongous GIF from the screen. I don't know why I put it there. It's kind of fun. He says, there we go. Okay, it's gone. It's gone. Back to normal. So, all sorts of stuff's been going on. I guess Ripple's the big one, isn't it? Ripple's the big one. Obviously, we've been doing pretty well regardless, actually. Bitcoin's kind of close to breaking out at the moment. We did really well on Dash, we did really well on Litecoin, we did really well on Ethereum. We actually did trade Ripple, contrary to everyone's beliefs. We did trade Ripple, but I got out when I thought it was safe to do so, which was a bit earlier. Zacubus, by the way, is like an old friend that I used to play games with. He was kind of in the community that I used to play around on. So he's just started streaming, so I thought I'd just like I noticed that I was hosting him, so I was like, oh, everyone go say hi. Why not? Uh, yeah, I mean it should be unflagged now. So if you go back on my profile, you should be able to find what I wrote if you want to read it. I mean, basically there was just an image that was going around on 4chan, and then it found its way onto Reddit, and then it found its way onto Bitcoin Talk. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to answer this because it's really annoying me. So I did. So this is it here. So I did 2 posts. It was 2 parts. So you can see. Actually, no, this isn't it. I don't think it. This is the one I made after those 2 posts. So I did 2 posts that were explaining the post. Then I got loads of hate, so I just wrote this about why I don't trade it yet again, to explain to people. And I know that like a bunch of you guys are like, oh, stop wasting your time on these guys. You know, there's no need for you to justify yourself. But a lot of people are just asking because they've only just started copying me. And so they haven't heard me explain my reasons behind not liking Ripple for the long term before. So I do need to explain it reasonably often. I should really write a blog post about it. I know I've been meaning to for absolutely ages, but I still haven't done it. But yeah, so this is the second part of the post, and the first part is somewhere. I guess it must be further down somewhere. Yeah, so this is the first one. So yeah, take your time to read it if you really want to. It's nothing all that exciting. Honestly, like, most of the points in here were pretty bad, so it's really easy for me to just say, well, no, these are bad points. You know, boasting that a decentralized project supposedly has 200 plus employees is not really a good thing, because that just means that you've got to support those 200 employees. So the currency isn't as efficient as it could be. And again, I'm not a big hater on Ripple. As I like, it sounds like I am because I'm always, talking it down and stuff. It was very good 2 years ago, and it was good last year. And this year, it's okay. It's okay. Like realistically, it takes a long time for other people to catch up with what they've got and surpass it and build those partnerships and stuff. They've got a nice start, head start basically. But realistically, I just don't see it working in like 3 years' time. There's no way it's going to work in 3 years' time. So I think it's risky to hold it. I really do. Um, but that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Don't worry about what people say. Uh, so yeah, just write it on your profile description on eToro. I mean, yeah, my eToro profile description does say that I trade based on disruption, and I think that Ripple is going to be disrupted. Although they were disruptive, I think they're not disruptive enough, and they will themselves become disrupted. And that's like the core belief that I have in how I trade is I look for things that are going to be disrupted. I mean, I also trade opportunities when I'm sure about it. Like, I did a Disney trade yesterday. You see, like a 1% trade in like a couple of hours, no leverage, just like a cheeky 1%. Why not? And the same, like same with Ripple. You know, I did this trade here, 32.7%. It was one trade. It wasn't a big position, but I saw the opportunity, so I took it right after my stream where I was debating it all the way through the stream. I just realized the Christmas tree is like really well positioned on my webcam. I should turn it on because it's quite a nice little Christmas tree. We've also got a Mario star on the top of it because, you know, oh dear. Yeah, people reading profile bio. That's something that never happens, I don't think. Um, Daily reminded us to make that Ripple video. Yeah, I know. I've been I last night I was working on my weekly update videos because I'm 2 weeks behind. That was basically because I was over in Israel and then I got back here and I've been in London a reasonable amount for some big meetings and stuff. Not with eToro, but other people. I mean, also eToro, I guess, but yeah. So I've been pretty busy, but I will probably churn them out tomorrow. It's got to the point where I just work every day now. Like I sometimes play games and chill out in the evening, but pretty much every day is like a work day for me these days. So um, no Bitcoin shirt. Yeah, not today. I'm wearing my just like normal shirt. So do I believe it's a good time to buy First Solar? The chart looks pretty stable. I actually do. I think it's a very good time. Originally, I wanted to play First Solar, whereby I'd sell it after their last earnings, which I did, and then I would buy back in like 2 months later in time for the hype going into next year. But the stock it just had so much momentum that it actually was still going up after I sold. So I was like, you know what, I just need to keep exposure to it because I don't want to risk losing it. Like, you know, I've traded it a few times and closed a few trades. I actually closed these ones because they were quite small positions. And now, as you can see with my AUM, I have to keep that in mind with positions. So I try and always keep everything over 1% to make copying better for you guys so you guys make more money. Um, but yeah, I'm still in First Solar. So effectively, this is the position. No, this one's the position that I replaced those other positions with, I think. Actually, it might be that one. So we're down the spread on it, but you know, whatever, that doesn't really matter. Um, the other ones are down a little bit because it took a bit of a dip. It did peak above $70 for a while, but I think First Solar are going to have a really good year next year. They said in their last quarterly report that they expect the next one to be kind of dull because they're kind of ramping down on some of their big projects and about to start ramping up into some of their new big projects, which is fine by me. I think overall the solar market is going to continue to explode regardless, and so I want exposure to it in every way I can. It's actually weirdly, it's part of the reason that I'm shorting oil. As much as I'm making some great refunds on these, and I'm a bit gutted that I didn't do a better short before actually, because there was a really nice opportunity the other day. It was like 58 for just a day. But part of the reason I'm shorting oil is because I really think that solar is going to disrupt like massively this year. The price is just through the floor, like in terms of how cheap it's become, especially on industrial levels, which is where First Solar obviously um, do most of their stuff. So I've got a bit of Solar Edge as well, a much smaller position in them. I'd probably look to rebuy at some point, like under 36 or so for Solar Edge. But First Solar is where I'm more confident, so I've got a bit more money in them. It's actually one of my biggest positions now. Yeah, I've been cycling through quite a few positions recently. I opened a Sony position down here, which may interest some of you, I guess. Just one position at the moment, but I'd probably look to add another position to there as well at some point, maybe even a third one. Uh, let's see, what other questions have we got? Litecoin jumper. I'm not gonna lie, there's part of me that's very tempted to just order like every jumper on Hodl Moon, but maybe next Christmas I'll get a new one. I found that website pretty early actually, and at the time, like you know, they were still accepting designs. They only had like 2 designs on there at the time. So I went to the Dash community on their Reddit and posted on Reddit and asked someone to create a design there and submit it to them, and they did. But for some reason, Hodl Moon haven't put it up. So I guess they just couldn't get it done in time, which is a shame because I would definitely have bought a Dash one if they had one. But as you can see, there's no Dash. Monero one's pretty cool. Maybe Monero at some point in the future. I think the Litecoin one's a bit boring. The Ethereum one's really nice. The Bitcoin one's amazing. Very, very cool. I like this bit at the top. But yeah, pretty expensive shirts though, especially when you pay with cryptocurrency like I did. The price keeps going up every week on how much I paid for it. I mean, I kind of I get that he's trolling, but honestly, part of it was just really fun for me to just kind of destroy that guy. I actually have a theory on who it is as well. There was a guy that copied me a while ago from Australia who just continually got in arguments with me about stuff, and I think it's him again. Because I noticed that he copied the guy that I didn't like back then. So, why don't I use tools like crypto compare or coin tracking? Um, I used to use CoinCap for a little bit. I should really use crypto compare because I actually met the CEO and he's a really nice guy called Vlad. Um, really really cool guy who's been in crypto for a long time and stuff. And I do trust them. I should probably start using it, but for the moment I don't know. I guess I'm too lazy or too busy or whatever. Like I'm just all over the place at the moment to the point where I started a spreadsheet yesterday, just documenting how much time I'm spending doing things because it's getting hard to like stay on top of everything. Um, yeah, I guess, which is probably why I should spend less time replying to trolls. But honestly, it's kind of fun sometimes. Let's see. When you're copying, profit does reinvest automatically. You can withdraw if you want to take that profit and invest it in another trader or another trade entirely, or if you want to withdraw it from eToro. But generally speaking, I would advise, like a lot of people come to me and ask me, what's the best way of doing it if I want like a monthly income from it? And say that they're copying with like I don't know $10,000 or something. They want a monthly income of a few $100s a month or whatever it is that I'm likely to be making them. And the answer is actually you're better off if you can just doing that like every 3 months and then splitting that into thirds to pay yourself for the next 3 months or whatever. Because it makes a big difference if you have to pay the spreads every single month on positions, especially with me because I do recommend not copying open positions as well. Yeah, it can be a bit of a pain. So if you're trying to do that, then I would suggest really only uncopying, try to uncopy and then recopy again as rarely as possible because it will just kind of hurt your returns, to be honest. Especially when you consider like compound interest and things like that. Just during the stream, am I endorsing XRP? Yes, we're buying XRP. I've actually got this link open. I was going to discuss it in a minute, and I started watching this video, but I figured I'd watch it on the stream with you guys. Because it's kind of interesting. Q&A with the guy. Um, see what their plans are for 2018 for Ripple. uh, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Selling all my AMD for Ripple, yeah. But like one of the arguments someone gave me is like, it's the third biggest cryptocurrency now. All these people can't be wrong. And I'm like, well, BitConnect made it to seventh, you know? BitConnect made it to seventh. So does that really mean anything? That lots of people have invested in it? I don't think it does, to be honest. There's a lot of dumb money moving into the space recently, and they see Ripple as a nice cheap coin that's pretty high up and has potential that's easy to understand, So yeah, exactly. Bcash was number three. Bitcoin Gold was number four. Like, and now it's what, number 11 or something? Let's have a look. Where's Bitcoin Gold? Yeah, number 10 at the moment, and BitConnect's down to 17th now, but still growing, almost 2 billion. 2 billion on BitConnect. Crazy. Absolutely nuts. But yeah, like honestly, it's weird. It's like I make a negative post about Ripple, about the reasons that I don't like it and the reasons that I didn't really trade it during this rally. And then people take it as like some sort of a personal attack on the fact that they managed to make money out of it, and they think I'm jealous. And it's like I'm really not jealous, you know. I've made plenty of money this year. I'm entitled. Like, of course, it would have been nice if I had got in on that trade, and I did get on it for a little bit. with a little bit of money. But like I've made so much safe gains elsewhere. I'm entirely happy with how my portfolio is balanced, and I'm entirely happy not having Ripple as a part of it for 99% of the year. And I'll probably continue that way unless I see something change. If they really start to decentralize more, then yeah, I might start supporting it. But I just look at Stellar and I think Stellar is doing a stellar job, I guess. Yeah, people did take it very personally. They saw it as me attacking their trades, attacking the thing that their investment, you know. Um, and I guess I was kind of attacking the actual, value of it and if this rally was justified, but um, I certainly never meant to like attack people's trading skills or anything like that. So, but it's interesting that they tried to silence me via flagging my post as spam. They are XRP hooligans. So what should we talk about this stream? I mean, so the Disney Fox thing was kind of interesting. Disney are basically like one of the biggest media companies on the planet now. Now, after that deal, like they're huge. So that was pretty crazy. I've traded Disney a couple of times before, and I was a bit tempted to hold them a bit more long term because it's a pretty nice big monopoly. I can see lots of ways that they can integrate it with their current business quite well. Uh, but it didn't really feel like the right kind of trade for me to hold long term. So I just kind of scalped the end of the news basically and made a little 1% gain. Kind of happy with that. Let's see. Well, the thing that frustrates me about the Ripple stuff, we keep going back to Ripple. This is I was like promising that this isn't going to turn into a Ripple stream, and here we are just chatting about Ripple. I think it does mean that Deadpool is now a Disney character. I mean, they now have like all of Marvel and they have a lot of stuff. But yeah, the thing that frustrates me about the Ripple posts is that I had lots of people coming in saying, "Oh, you're just jealous," or "You're just mad because you missed out on the trade," and "Stop just talking shit about it. It's not good content and all the rest of it." And I'm just like, I'm not talking shit. I'm giving real arguments, and I'm defending how I trade. I'm explaining to people how I trade and what my strategy is and why that strategy doesn't work and isn't compatible with Ripple, in my mind. And like, there have been some good comments, like this Swaglog guy. I haven't read these comments that he's just made here yet, but he made a good argument back up here, and it was refreshing to see that, and I replied to it, and now he's replied to that. But like uh, people like this guy, who literally just said that I'm lying about my statistics on my profile, and that I would never have quit my job if I wasn't getting paid by eToro, like that's somehow relevant in any way, and all this other shit. So that's the stuff that frustrates me, and I did I guess I did bite because I replied with this and kind of just laid out a few facts for him, and then a nice gif, and he's kind of gone quiet now. But like these kind of arguments, what Swaglord was saying was really cool. Like I like that. We're discussing, the theory of how these things can evolve and which directions they can take. And his theory is that governments will make it a lot easier to work with Ripple than they will with other cryptocurrencies, which could happen. My belief is that that will be a bit like the war on drugs, where 50% of 50% of the UK, for example, has at some point been involved in drugs, and a massive like 20% or so plus are still using drugs, are still engaged with drugs, and the same will happen with cryptocurrencies because they can't stop it, so people will still use it underground, and it just means that they're not making any tax revenue off that. And I explain this theory a bit further, and yeah, but that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy talking about. It's just crazy, just crazy. Um, why has this guy got a tick by its name? Oh, he's verified. Verified. What does that mean? No life QT is verified. I want a tick. Why don't I get verified? Are you a streamer? I feel bad now if you're like a big streamer and I don't know you. No, not necessarily. It's up, as I said, like I'm not here to tell other people what to do with their investments. If other people want to invest in Ripple, that's fine. I'll lay out the arguments why I don't like it and why it doesn't fit with my trading style, and you can take that advice on board if you wish to, and you can ignore it if you wish to. It's totally up to you. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to tell people what to do with their money. Oh, he's a professional WoW player. That's fucking awesome. I used to have a few friends that used to play for what was the team? It's like the top PvP arena team way back in the day, like Burning Crusade kind of time. Anyway, um, do you generally cap how much equity you have with eToro? No, actually, I pretty much just let it go up naturally because the problem is that the incentives are kind of misaligned in some ways on eToro. Not massively, but like a little bit. So, for example, um, it I feel more comfortable not investing more than like $500 in my smallest positions, right? Because I don't necessarily want to risk $500 uh, on Sony, for example, right? Let's just say it's not something that I'm that comfortable with. But I kind of have to because of the minimum trade sizes. I have to put in like 1% of my portfolio if I want to make sure that all of my copiers are getting a good copying experience. Um, Now, the way to fix that is to keep my equity at, let's say, 25 grand or 40 grand, for example, right? So then it's always at $250 or $400. Um, but if if I want to do that, I have to withdraw money from my account. If I withdraw money from my account, it automatically withdraws the same percentage for everyone that's copying me, which means that I get paid less. And it also means that they then have to reinvest that money if they want to keep that money invested. I think it should be an option, really. But that's just the way it is. And honestly, I'm still kind of happy with these levels, so it hasn't become an issue yet. Um, I'm I'm making enough money that I can kind of afford to put $1,000 or something into a position that I'm not sure about. But it's not ideal. It's not ideal. But yeah, no, I don't limit it in any way at the moment. I let it grow naturally. I don't put any money in. I don't take any money out. I take my popular investor payments go straight out though. What do I think about Litecoin? Um, Litecoin's interesting. Litecoin, Litecoin's always been kind of interesting because IOTA made a good joke about them on Twitter the other week where they said that Litecoin's biggest innovation is multiplication by four. And that's basically because, that's what they did. They made four times as many blocks every 10 minutes. So there's a block every 2.5 minutes, and there's four times as many coins. And that's kind of where the big innovation in Litecoin ends, sort of. Except that Litecoin was also like the experimentation bed for Bitcoin. So they adopted SegWit before Bitcoin did, and then everyone saw, oh look, SegWit's working, let's get it on Bitcoin, kind of thing. Um, and of course they're very, very compatible with Bitcoin because of SegWit and because of how similar they are, with atomic swaps and things like that. There's quite a lot of potential there. So I think Litecoin is in an interesting situation because Bitcoin is surviving based purely off of its massive brand and the fact that it's become a store of value. Litecoin could latch onto that and go the same way and also become a store of value. It literally, as much as I used to hate the comparisons of Bitcoin is gold and Litecoin is silver, they may end up being exactly that. They really could. But I would much prefer to see Litecoin become, a currency and actually compete with Dash. But to do that, they really need to scale more. It'd be cool if they compete with Dash because then it means we've got a SegWit option, which would be Litecoin. So they're fixing transaction scaling and stuff through software, and then you've got the hardware option of Bitcoin Cash, where they're fixing scaling via hardware by creating master nodes and bigger blocks and all the rest of it. So yeah, like I like Litecoin. I think Litecoin's decent. I don't think it's something that you should have the majority of your portfolio in. Like I'd say maybe third, fourth, fifth biggest positions because I think Bitcoin, IOTA, Dash, Ethereum, EOS, Cardano, all of these projects I think have got more potential than Litecoin, generally speaking. But it's definitely like up there. Like it's up there with like the Moneros and NEM and Ripple, things like that in terms of what you should be considering as a major position. Yeah, I mean that is one of the best features about it. It is a test. It's like a test net for Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin, like because of its age, because of its history, because of the charm of Charlie Lee, Litecoin could still do very, very well. And it could turn into a store of value, and it could turn into a cryptocurrency, like Dash. It could go either way. It could turn into something that's used daily for payments. It could turn into a store of value, the same as Bitcoin. Both are entirely viable. I said at $100 when I was in London that Litecoin was extremely undervalued because even if you just even if you just assume that, let's say, only 25% of the people who know about Bitcoin know about Litecoin, but that they know its traits and understand what it is, then because it's four times as many coins, it should be worth four times less than Bitcoin, right? Which would put its value at somewhere around like $4,000. And yet here we are at like $300. So then you say, okay, well maybe it should be $1,000, for example, because $1,000 would assume that 25% of the people that know about Bitcoin and like Bitcoin know about Litecoin. But we're a lot less than that, so maybe it's like 10%, in which case we're actually kind of pretty well valued at the moment. So like, there's various ways of trying to value these cryptocurrencies. But that's the one that I generally kind of think of in my head for Litecoin is like how many people that understand Bitcoin understand Litecoin, which direction is Litecoin likely to go? If it's a store of value, then it should in theory be worth somewhere in the range of a quarter of Bitcoin. Otherwise, it's undervalued. And if it's not, and if it's going to be more useful for payments and things like that, then potentially more, potentially less, because it depends on what the competition is doing. You scared the shit out of me. Majority of my cash is in Ripple. I mean, yeah, personally, I wouldn't keep the majority of it in Ripple. I think that's pretty risky. I think that's quite risky. But like people who keep like 5% or 10% in Ripple, I can totally understand that. If they really believe in what they're doing, then I can totally understand that. And I've said multiple times that I think Ripple is going to do fine for 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe even 5 years. But after that, I think that they're in big trouble. And I think if you actually look at what's been going on with like Stellar and comparing that with Ripple, you can see that Stellar is growing at the same pace as Ripple, maybe even faster. Yeah, I sold my Neo some time ago. I actually sold my Neo probably about 3 weeks before I posted that portfolio up on my website. I now have some Rye blocks, a tiny amount of Rye blocks. Um, Even though I didn't actually finish reading the white paper for Rye blocks. They only just re-released like a technical white paper, and I was reading through that. But I didn't get very far. But I still decided to invest anyway because it looks like it is what I think it is. Kind of an assumption, I guess. Uh, uh, what's everyone talking about these 15 seconds for? I haven't seen the original comment that started that. Um, Litecoin. I did a prediction with Matt from eToro about like what my top 10 cryptocurrencies were, and Litecoin was pretty much in the same kind of area that it is now. So if you assume that the entire market goes by, let's say 200 or 300%, then I guess Litecoin should probably do something similar. But I think we're going to see an increasing amount of money heading into alternatives to Ethereum. I said it last stream. I am becoming bearish on Ethereum. Not massively bearish, but just a bit kind of cautious on how they're doing. For example, there was a project called, oh, what was it called? I'm not sure if it's like Gifto or something. There was a reasonably sized project that actually announced that they're moving off of Ethereum and they're actually moving to Stellar, which is kind of interesting. There's also discussions about projects such as First Blood and things like that moving away from Ethereum and moving to EOS. So the same with Cardano, and I expect the same is probably true of IOTA, but people haven't announced it yet. I think you're going to start to see projects moving if they really need scale, and they need scale now. And there's a lot of projects that have been going for a long time now, which are getting pretty close to completion, or like MVP at least, such as Augur, which should be released in early 2018. And they need a lot more transactions than what Ethereum can give them right now. So they're going to be in a situation where they either sit there and kind of bottleneck themselves, or they try and move to something new and hope that that works out. So the race is on for Ethereum to try and scale in time to help the apps that have been built on it, basically. Some comments on IOTA. IOTA's got a few problems with their Tangle and wallets and stuff at the moment, which is why they've been having like lots of withdrawal problems and things with exchanges recently. But IOTA is still a great tech. I still think they're going to fix it. DAGs are the future, which is what IOTA is. It's also why I invested in Roblox, because Roblox is a DAG as well. So yeah, I think now is actually a really good time to be buying into IOTA if you don't have any. If you don't have any and you want to get some exposure to it, now's a very good time because they're in a consolidation period. I would say 2 to 5 trillion is about right. Um, and I actually think that maybe not this year, but perhaps the year afterwards, you'll see gold start going down because I think Bitcoin will have proven itself as such a strong store of value that it will start eating away at that market. So currently, like gold is like an $8.3 trillion market. I reckon within 2 years it'll be down to like 7.5 trillion, and that money will have moved pretty much directly into cryptocurrencies. Oh, the refunds are back on natural gas. Ooh, that is tempting. I did like a small nat gas trade the other week. Uh, I might close out this one soon. Kind of happy with that. I know it's only a very small amount of profit, but you know, I'm kind of happy with it. I haven't had any refunds yet though. I don't think. It doesn't say what the refunds are. Yeah. Where does it say it? Yeah, so here it says about refunds. Weird. Anyway, DAG is a directed. I can never remember how to pronounce this word. Eclectic. I think that's right. Eclectic. Something like that. I don't know. I can't. I can't really explain it. But basically, it just means that. And then the G is graph. So it's basically a graph. Is it eclectic? I put a T in it, didn't I? I always do that. I can never pronounce that word. But basically, acyclic. Yeah. Is that how you say it? Acyclic? I don't know. Anyway, basically it means that it's like it's like a tree effectively, and there's different types of trees. Um, it's effectively something that's always moving forward in time, so it's always moving along in time, and it's spreading out as it goes effectively. And so there's different ways of doing it. So like some of them, for example, are a bunch of parallel blockchains. So you have a blockchain here, a blockchain here, a blockchain here, a blockchain here, and they're all talking to each other and connecting along the way as they're moving forward through time. You have things like IOTA, which is more like a tree where it kind of just branches and branches and branches as it goes forward through time. Um, so like there's a few different like styles of it, but that's like the new buzzword, and I pretty much guarantee you that in 2018 everyone will be saying that instead of blockchain. It's part of the reason that I keep referring to the blockchain space as actually the crypto space because I feel like crypto is more descriptive of what it is, even though some people don't like that term because it sounds like some sort of secret underground terrorist thing. Um, to the general public, they don't like that word. It's like encryption, same thing. Um, in reality, it describes the ecosystem better than most other words, I think. So I've just said loads about IOTA. I don't know what else you want me to say. You like asked me like 4 times to say something about IOTA. A cyclic. Is that how you say it? That sounds weird. I don't know if I like that. I prefer my way of saying it. Terrorist. I couldn't think of a word. Terrorist is like the first thing I thought of. I don't know why. You are allowed to use 5x leverage. They just don't like it if you do. But as you can see, it's not a very long-term trade that I'm doing here. I saw a nice opportunity. I should probably set a trailing stop loss on it actually before it gets carried away. I'm literally just going to do this, and oh no, other way. Yeah, and then we'll let that catch up, and that'll be our profit taking mechanism for that trade. A cyclic. This is fun. It's like learning English. Uh, about the price in near and long-term future. Okay, for IOTA. So I don't even know what the price is at the moment. Let's have a look. It's been going down for like the past week, basically. It's just been kind of consolidating. Um, so like at its peak, I think it hit like 16 billion market cap or something like that. We'll see how close I am. That doesn't actually tell you. That just shows you the trade volume and stuff. But regardless, yeah, you can see how it's kind of come down from those highs back to like the midway point now. So yeah, like it's two. Let's say it's $2.50 at the moment, somewhere around there. Okay, it's 3.86. Never mind. Apparently, I'm bad at guessing. Um, realistically, like 20, $25 by the end of next year is very, very possible. Could be a lot higher than that actually. It could be somewhere like $75. Um, at the same time, I always say this quote because it's stuck with me, which is that the top guy from IOTA basically said IOTA will either be a project that's worth trillions of dollars or a project that's worth nothing. And that's entirely true. Like there is every chance that this just doesn't work. Like they've had a lot of problems so far, and so far they've managed to overcome them and fix them. But this is a complex structure, a very complex structure, and it's still in early stages. So don't invest more than you can afford to lose, is my advice. And I'm not a financial advisor, so I guess that's my opinion, not my advice. Um, yeah, you can trade IOTA. The best places to trade IOTA is Binance and Bitfinex. I personally prefer Binance, although my own is actually on Bitfinex at the moment, most of it. I don't know anything about the stop loss situation on eToro. I can understand why they're doing it. It actually makes a lot of sense in some ways because crypto traders are kind of used to that not being the case. They want to buy something and to keep that something, not for it to sell automatically. I actually think that there should be a middle ground that they should find on this issue, to be honest. I think stop losses are incredibly useful. I use stop losses, especially trailing stop losses, a lot as a take profit mechanism, actually, instead of using the take profit or closing manually. Like I just did on oil, for example. I literally just set a trailing stop loss on my oil, and that will close it out for me when I'm, in a nice healthy profit. And I think, yeah, I think it's kind of unfortunate, but I understand it because cryptos can literally go to zero value overnight potentially, and like that we've seen like flash crashes and stuff before that catch people out on stop losses. And eToro, I'm relatively sure, I don't know this as a fact, this is just my opinion, but I suspect that they have on many occasions lost money by paying people out at the price their stop loss was set at, even though it didn't sell at anything like that price. And eToro has taken the hit themselves on those positions, in order to give a better experience to traders, trying to protect them from the volatility of cryptos effectively. And so I think that's why they're doing it, because they can't guarantee that they will always be able to sell it or to sell it at the price that people sell it at. Like slippage is so common. There you go, that just closed. So common in comparison with with something like a normal stock, right? Like the slippage is insane. The only time you get that in a stock is when it's gapping on earnings reports and things like that. Whereas in cryptocurrencies, it's really common. So I understand why they're doing it. I still think it would be really nice if they just kind of had a disclaimer saying, "Hey, your stop loss may not actually work, so don't hold us accountable for it, but you can use it if you want to." That's what I think they should do. They should have it turned off by default, so it doesn't set a default stop loss because it's a cryptocurrency, and that instead you can choose to set one, and it just gives you a warning saying, "Hey, this might not work," basically. That's what I think. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I use it a lot as well. So if they remove it, then I may end up having to try and build some sort of a bot or something. I don't know. Like I need to figure something out because it'll be very difficult to sleep with positions open on things that are more volatile if there aren't stop losses. Like I rely on stop losses a lot in cryptocurrencies to help me. So it's not great for me either, to be honest. But maybe we can petition them and ask for some sort of a middle ground. I the thing is that they can say that they might not work properly because that's just how the market works. The market can literally just dive, and you may have your stop loss set at let's use Bitcoin as an example, right? Let's say that the futures market comes out and they just short like absolutely crazy, and everyone on the internet is trying to sell their Bitcoins at the same time. And let's say the price drops down to like $3,000 in like a minute, right? It's going to take eToro a lot of time to process millions and millions and millions of dollars of orders. There is no way that they can guarantee that your stop loss at 16k is going to kick in because there will be 50 people with stop losses at 60k. One of them could be a popular investor like me, for example, and that means that they've got $30 million worth of Bitcoin, for example, at 16k that would sell, and then that alone triggers it to drop further. And by that point, all the people that have got orders to sell at 15.5k, they're now being pushed down the list, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And like that doesn't happen in normal markets very often at all. And that's why they guarantee it for normal markets. That's why they're able to provide a stop loss and say this will work like 99% of the time. But in cryptocurrencies, it might not because it's there's FOMO, there's FOMO, and there's FUD, and people go in and out like rapidly, rapidly, rapidly. And there's nothing eToro can do about that. They can't guarantee that your stop loss is going to sell at a price. What they can do is still give you the option to use a stop loss and say, hey, this might fuck you up at some point. And I would rather have that, and then be angry about the 1% of times that it doesn't sell where I want it to, than not have the option to use it at all. I believe that they will honour the price of trades closed manually. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. Exactly, Rob. And the thing is that that's costing them money. And if they did it to you, they probably did it to hundreds or thousands of other people as well. And it could well be, you're talking potentially millions of dollars. And at that point, you've got to think, is it worth it for them to take that much risk? I'll never sleep anymore. Yeah, I know, right? Maybe we can like hire people and we can all just go on shifts. I'll hire a team to look after it for you guys. My fee is just increased by the amount it costs to hire like 3 people full time. Yeah. But again, like if you actually go and look at other exchanges, there are very few exchanges that even offer a stop loss, let alone will guarantee you the price that's on it. So realistically, all eToro is doing is moving in line with current crypto exchanges. Um, Simple as that, I guess. I did not see Jordan's comments. If you have a link, I'm happy to watch it on stream, and you can see my live reaction, like a reaction video. It'll be great. I'm going to turn the light on because I can't see. It's getting dark. Oh, my light's broken. There we go. Oh man, that's bright. Okay. How much did we actually make off that oil position? I don't think it was very much. Honestly, I kind of hoped it would be open like at least a day, so I'd get a bit of a refund. But hey, I made, 1% almost. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Let's see. Ah, cool, you've got a link. Let's watch it. We just oh Jesus, calm down, calm down. Oh no, I remember when he interviewed who was it he interviewed? He interviewed Brian Armstrong, or whatever his name is, from Coinbase, and he was really trying to like get under his skin and antagonize him, and it just didn't work. It was hilarious. I very much enjoyed that. I just realized my webcam's like totally out of position. It's like way too high up. Oh, whatever. Ah, that'll do. Yeah, no, it's very interesting. Let's watch it. Ooh, ooh. Good clip. Solid film. Definitely worth watching. No sounds. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. 1 second. Let's have a look. That's weird. Properties. Let's try now.
Good expert analysis.
Can you hear it now?
Jordan Belfort calls big.
Let me know if you can hear it. Working now? Cool. Sweet. Good. Okay, we'll restart. We'll restart. Solid film, by the way, if you've not seen it. Solid film. Very good.
Real life Wolf of Wall Street. You'll remember Leonardo DiCaprio played the man.
Let's go full screen. Let's enjoy it.
Exactly what Jordan and I are going to talk about. The true value of stocks. Have a watch.
You know what Fugazi is?
No, Fugazi. It's a fake.
Yeah, Fugazi, Fugazi. It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is
should be louder now.
It's not on the elemental chart.
And that really is the truth of it. The real life story ended with Jordan Belfort serving time, but he now joins me from Los Angeles. Why, sir, do you believe it is a fraud?
What was that?
When
Why?
there are real transactions taking place? We'll come to the fact that the volatility in the price in a moment. But real people are using bitcoins for real transactions.
Well, I think that to label Bitcoin as a fraud, like put an umbrella over the whole thing, it's not what I said. What I said is that the problem I have with the technology, blockchain technology, is that the technology is great, but the people who are getting involved in it right now, so Bitcoin's already had its big run up to where it is right now, right? Well, what's happening is there's all these copycat cryptocurrencies that are going out there, and there's no regulation on the actual level of Bitcoin itself. You're talking, there's futures regulation, but the underlying asset is completely unregulated. It's a dark market, and there's people right now who are using the success of Bitcoin to create these massive pump and dumps with other cryptocurrencies.
I mean, so far, he sounds right. Like, I don't really disagree with anything he's said so far.
So I think it's a huge danger right now that people are looking at this as like the next great thing. It's a bubble for sure, and this is the next stage. Like
I wouldn't say
it's
that.
very common that the future is now stage 3. So next stage is now you'll see it really skyrockets. There'll be a short squeeze, and it'll go even higher. And eventually, though, it's going to come caving in. It's almost a guarantee.
And the fascinating.
I mean, Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin's not. I disagree with him on that. Like, I get what he's saying about some of the copycat cryptocurrencies. Like, if you actually look down on CoinMarketCap, there's so many shit coins, and they've all got millions or hundreds of millions in value. Like, and realistically, the innovation is pretty small. Weirdly, although I quite like Litecoin is kind of a good example of this, in that it doesn't really do anything new, right? It doesn't do anything new at all, but it's just going up in value because Bitcoin is. And yeah, I mean, you can still use it for transactions. It's still useful and stuff, but you kind of get the point of perhaps what he's trying to say. He's definitely wrong if he thinks that Bitcoin's gonna come crashing down. I think he'll have a nasty surprise at some point in about 5 or 6 years' time.
The fascinating part about this, I think you would agree with me, is that Bitcoin, well, a cryptocurrency, whether it be Bitcoin or one of the others, they are coming, and they will be reputable, and they will be part of the economic landscape in the future. But if I understand you correctly, you're saying this Wild West early days is the problem.
Yes, well, I think there's a couple of problems. Number one, right now with Bitcoin, what you have here is there's two parts of manipulation.
Whoa, he's swearing. Listen, just because you're an American, don't think you can put two fingers up, eh?
First part is you have to create demand, right? Massive demand. That's happening right now versus via social media. Every day I get emails, random emails, buy Bitcoin, become a millionaire with these crazy, promotional ads to generate interest. But at the same time, there's limiting supply. There's really not...
That sounds like BitConnect. Generating interest sounds like BitConnect.
That much Bitcoin that's out there. So what's happening is you have very limited supply. Most of them... See, I know that they might say the market cap is a couple $100 billion, but how much is actually trading out there in the marketplace? How much does it take for Bitcoin to go up? Not that much. And that's why it's shooting up so quickly. And what happens is this. At a certain point, it has to reverse itself, and it'll be a short...
Why would it reverse itself? I'm confused. Surely at the point where there is more demand than there is supply, that causes the price to go up. Anyone that sells massively into that, I understand taking profit maybe, but at that point, what are you taking profit into? US dollars? I don't think this guy gets the big picture of where the space overall is going, which is that real currencies need to start looking at becoming either very, very low interest or deflationary, basically, if they want to compete for people's money.
Short squeeze. I mean, once the futures start, people will short it. There'll be a squeeze because you can't deliver it. And then it's just going to crater. And the average investor is the one who's going to lose the money, not the professionals.
Right. Now,
we're not losing any more, boys. I'm a professional. You average guys, you're screwed. But me, this is my job. That's what professional means, right? Yeah, I agree with what you said, Liam. They don't understand how deflation works. They probably don't understand, for example, that it's infinitely divisible. They think that people have to sell one at a time or whatever. Good thing Jay's a professional. Yeah. So yeah, basically he just doesn't get deflation. A lot of people don't. It's not an easy thing to wrap your head around when you've been brought up in an inflationary world with inflationary currencies. Most people don't understand how central banking works. So how are they going to understand how a deflationary currency works? It's not an easy thing to wrap your head around, really, I guess.
Talk about the short squeeze as a result of the
short
futures
squeeze
market.
already happened once.
If that's right, and I don't doubt you are right, then the futures market has performed exactly the role that the CBOE and others say it will perform, which is to create a market mechanism of regulation to the transparency of the price.
Well, to be frank, I mean, their goal was they saw an opportunity to make money off a new thing and, give it to smart people with degrees. They'll come up with a way to trade or securitize anything. Look what happened with the mortgage market. They figured out some newfangled way to take what was crap, these, subpar mortgages, and wrap them up in something and say it's great, then we'll trade futures. And
I mean, yeah, that's why we're not trading futures. We'll trade the real thing. You can pile up the crap, but the thing is that ours actually has the underlying value. That's the key thing. Don't ever focus on derivatives too much. Always want to have the underlying asset. Generally speaking, I sound like a fucking gold bug. Oh my god, buy your real gold. Keep it in a vault in your house.
Futures on futures. So you're at that stage right now where it's not that there's anything wrong with trading futures, but here's the bottom line. is that it's going to be very hard to short these things for a long time. So when you short something, you eventually have to buy it back, right? And that creates more buying. So you have this skyrocketing demand, very little supply. But then, at a certain point, something will happen. There'll be either regulation will pass, something will go wrong, and all of a sudden the sentiment will change, and it is going to drop so hard and fast. So that's on Bitcoin. The bigger danger, I think, personally.
I don't think it will. See, he's saying effectively what the same guy that was debating on my eToro feed was about Ripple, which is that cryptocurrencies will get regulated. In the US, I mean, they just fucking passed, they just passed the bill about net neutrality. So it's entirely possible that the US and China and countries like that will do it. But in Europe, I don't think it will. I don't think it will at all. I think already cryptocurrencies, I've said this before, I think already cryptocurrencies are getting to the stage where people think of them the same way as they think of the internet, which is that it's a human right. You cannot control information anymore. People want free information, and they also now want free money, free currency. So I don't think that the political powers will be able to regulate it too heavily. They can tax it, sure. They can make it so there's AML and KYC. Yes, they're already kind of doing that, to be honest. They can go after ICOs, and they should to a certain extent. But when it comes to just saying we ban Bitcoin, doesn't matter, because me and Liam, if I owe Liam some money for a pint of beer, and he has Bitcoin and I have Bitcoin, then I'll probably end up using Bitcoin. Because at the end of the day, it works out better for both of us, because it means that we've still got our money in something that's got more value over the long term. And that's just how it will be. And no one will be able to stop us from doing that. I'm using Liam as an example. Sorry, Liam. But that is how it is. And it's the same with the internet. When they try and regulate the internet, you see these massive uproars. Although they passed that bill, look at the amount of outcry that there has been from America. Entire websites just turning their website to black. Yeah. Well, maybe not Bitcoin, but Litecoin or whatever, whatever cryptocurrency we choose. But the point is that we'll use another currency, and we'll maybe have a balance in another cryptocurrency that we can trade between it. The fact is that people will want access to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to use it as a store of value, and they can try and ban it, but people will still do it. Right, let's keep listening. We're almost done.
Personally, is that
I've managed to make this 5-minute video last like 20 minutes, so I'm doing pretty well.
Every day I see 3 or 4 new offerings of Bitcoin number 3. This will be better than Bitcoin. You'll get rich overnight. And like just today in the CNN makeup room, the person, very nice lady, she's talking about Bitcoin. So this is a classic example, like in 2007, when you were doing a mortgage market, right? Your hair cutter was also a mortgage broker all of a sudden. So everybody...
Oh, it's a bit like when the internet came out and people were using email, and some of them were using AOL, and some of them were using MySpace and all these different websites, and some of them were right and some of them were wrong. Amazing how that happens. And then it still went on to become this massive thing that totally changed all of society. Just gonna throw that out there. Like, you can compare it to mortgages, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as mortgages at all. It's the same thing as the internet. That's what it is.
He's jumping on
I'm
the
standing
bandwagon.
in front of the screen here, and we see, in that 20 minutes I've been on air, it's already put on another $500. It's up 19%. It's very difficult for me, for everybody who sees this and thinks, this is a way for me to make some... All right, I'm going to say it, Jordan. This is a way for me to make quick, easy money.
Listen, here's the bottom line. If you were the most disciplined person, you could really have the discipline to get in and get out. There's probably a short window to make some money. But that's not human nature. Well. It's not psychology. People, they'll get in and they make some money. They want to make more money. And these people have a tendency over, tulip bubble, right? Remember, in the
oh my God, you can't send tulips around the world instantly to pay for things. You can destroy a tulip really easily. You can stop a transaction of a tulip really easily. I want to send this tulip to Liam. Well, guess what? The postman fucking stole it. Now what? Oh no. Well, that's not a problem in Bitcoin, is it? Jesus Christ. There's so many arguments against tulips. I swear to God, I just don't even know where to begin. I'm sorry. How was your life in the fucking 1700s? Did you enjoy living through that tulip bubble? Did you? Oh my, oh, I hate this so much. Honestly, just like no.
Tulip bubble
I
in the
was I was okay with his arguments. I was okay with his arguments up until that point, but now he's lost me. He's fucking lost me. Yeah, tulips are so inflationary. Fucking hell. Just plant some more. Bloody
beginning of
hell.
the end was when they
It's not even fungible. It's not even fungible. I give you a tulip that's fucking pink and you give me a tulip that's yellow, and like they're not the same tulip, are they? If I go and give that to someone else, they know that I got that tulip from someone else because it's that color. You can trace the money. You can. It's not like cash. It's not like gold. It's not like any of those things. It's just like bad qualities to have for a currency, or a store of value. Oh my god, ridiculous.
started trading futures on tulips. That's how it started to, and that was another move up, and then all of a sudden, bam, it collapses and it's all over.
Oh my god. Well, you heard it there first, mate. Tulips, tulips are the future. We should be buying fucking tulips, shouldn't we? So, yeah, interesting little video. Always nice to watch those. Let's just check on eToro because I haven't looked in a while. We're making money again today. We lost a bit of money yesterday, a little bit, I think. Let's check. Okay, no, I still made profit yesterday. A very small amount of profit. Let's look at the chart. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful, isn't it? Eh? Now, of course, if I invested 100% of my money into Ripple, it would be like up here somewhere. But I think overall, still pretty happy. You know, that's not bad, is it? We've got a nice little line going on. Almost exponential. Almost, apart from a few dips. And there'll be more dips. There'll be more dips. So if you're copying, you know, calm down. Expect that it won't go up every single day because that's just how markets work. Yeah, I mean, actually, January is normally a pretty bearish time for cryptocurrencies, so I will be taking at least some more money out and kind of keeping it on the side during that period, I think. Just to be safe. Also, means I can just relax more, you know. It'd be nice to actually enjoy Christmas and not just stare at cryptocurrencies. My girlfriend and my housemate like to continually make jokes after, I'm not sure which Christmas it was, but like Bitcoin dropped massively like the day before Christmas. And I just went all the way through Christmas Day, like miserable, being like, Christmas is ruined, Bitcoin's ruined Christmas. And now they bring it up all the time. It's quite funny. Somehow I think Jay enjoys getting angry like that. No, I really don't. Like, I just can't control myself though because it's just stupid arguments. Stupid arguments. I'm all for constructive arguments, but that's not a constructive argument. You've taken something entirely different and tried to make Bitcoin fit into that same situation, and it just doesn't. You now have a Bitcoin Christmas jumper, so Bitcoin's going to be all over my Christmas. Let's actually see what this guy said because I've been meaning to read it and I don't want to ignore him. Da, 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 da. I can't be bothered to read. It's really long. I'm a very slow reader. You guys will be so mad just sitting here waiting. You'll be like, I've read it already. I consume my information through listening, pretty much, and watching. I'm so bad at reading. It takes me forever. Who's gonna hate? Has anyone else updated? No one else has upvoted my GIF. I thought that was a pretty good GIF. It's like, no, get wrecked. Get on the floor. Well, indeed, Rob. Indeed. That's the thing. So I think that there is an argument to ask them to keep stop losses and change their terms and conditions for cryptocurrencies or whatever it is that they need to do to allow us to use that mechanism, even if it doesn't work all the time. Because most of the time it's going to save us, not hurt us. So, and obviously us keeping our money is good for them because it means we've still got money on the platform to keep trading with. Oh, my Sony's break even. Loving life. Markets seem like they're up a little bit today, actually. Let's just check their watch list. It's the easiest way to kind of check their sentiment, really. A bit of a mixed bag, actually. Oh no, most of the actual stocks are up. Most of the stocks are up. That are on my watch list, at least. I mean, I guess I could have checked, like, you know, the FTSE and the Nasdaq and stuff. That would probably be an easier way to check the sentiment. Only views on Naga. Yeah, Naga's wank. Fuck Naga. Naga, if you're watching this, fuck you guys. Stop fucking advertising everywhere and sending shills everywhere to talk shit about your fucking cryptocurrency. Naga is advised by Roger Ver, so there you go. That's all the information you need. That's all the information you need. Let's go and have a look at their website. No, let's not look at their website. Fuck Naga. Literally fuck Naga. They're fucking everywhere. There was someone who created an account on eToro with a super similar name to me, just posting about fucking Naga everywhere. Did no trades on it, and then like eToro banned him after I showed the account and stuff, and after people kept flagging it as spam. So by the way, if you see people like spamming, do flag it as spam because they do look into it if it keeps happening. Yeah, no, fuck Naga. Bullshit. Naga is shit. That's all you need to know. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. The thing is, like, it annoys me as well because, like, I looked at Naga ages ago, like, probably a month or so ago at least, and they've just, like, stepped up their marketing, like, to insane levels now, and it's just fucking everywhere. Ah, it's everywhere. Be cash, be cash, be cash. Oh, man. Hard choice. If you want to know that, you just need to go to my website. It's a little out of date. I don't really have the time to be updating it every month. But if we scroll down to my blog, here you go. This is my crypto portfolio as of the 1st of December. That's it. So you want to see what I have? That's what I have. Excluding eToro. Excluding eToro. So it might be worth looking at my eToro as well and adding that on if you want to get a really accurate representation. But that's basically my portfolio. There's a few new things in there now as well. So Substratum, I like. So I've got a little bit of Substratum, and I've got some Ryblocks now. And I think I took out a bit of Lisk and a bit of Arc. So there you go. I'm a millionaire in some currencies. I'm a millionaire in some currencies, not in the pound, unfortunately. Not yet. Did I pick up any more status? I think so. I think I did, yes. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I did. What else have I changed that's in here? I think I got rid of a little bit of Monero. At some point I'll get rid of a little bit of Pivex. They just released their 2018 roadmap and it looks pretty good. If you guys haven't seen it, it's worth looking at. I think I got rid of a little bit of Cycoin actually since this as well. So Cycoin's gone down a bit. I've got more EOS. I bought more EOS. My EOS has been doing very well for me. You know, percentage-wise, like my IOTA and EOS and stuff, a lot of it's changed just because of how well they've been going up and stuff. So I've re-diversified again. So like I sold some of my IOTA like a week or two ago, like half of what I had earned. So. I really like Cycoin. They need to fix the ease of use basically. If they can fix ease of use, then Cycoin is just a dead set winner. Same with Golem. Golem, if you don't know, Golem is basically the same thing but for CPU power. So that's okay, Bleed. This community in general, although there's been like loads of hate and drama on eToro, primarily caused by myself, the community in eToro in general some of the people that are copying me and that are in this chat week in, week out, between all of us, like we all help each other out. We all learn from each other. If you go on the Discord, like it's a brilliant example. Liam posts a chart. We all say what we think about it. Some of us draw our own charts, and we all discuss our trading together. Um, it's good. And like eToro staff are even on there as well, and they get involved, and sometimes have a bit of bants with us. um, but yeah, like the community on eToro is genuinely very, very good, very, very good, and we need to work as a community to kind of protect that as well, because more and more as the website's growing, we're getting a lot of these kind of like spam posts and trolls and stuff, and every time you click report spam, eToro is actually doing something about it. So like you need to keep that up. If you see people posting totally irrelevant stuff, you need to not be liking posts that just say I think it's going up or I think it's going down, and instead liking posts even if you disagree with the content, if it's actual real content, because like that data will be very useful for eToro to improve their feed system and stuff, as they continue to grow. I know, like, that's kind of a weird thing for me to say, like, kind of like, oh, eToro is great, everyone loves eToro. Yeah, my posts were marked as spam. Yeah, I told eToro this morning and they unmarked it as soon as they saw it. I can tell you actually, it was there were 3 posts that were reported as spam. One had been reported 7 times, one had been reported I think 9 times, and the last one was reported 4 times. So there are a number of people out there that are not keen on hearing opinions that are different to their own. Too many moon gifts and rocket rocket launchers. Yes, there are. Haters gonna hate, hate, hate. Yeah. Um, I generally use either the exchange or the default wallet for the cryptocurrency, depending on what it is. Do a lot of research before you try and do it. Try it with a small amount of the coins first, obviously, to protect yourself. And obviously back up your private keys if you do decide to use a wallet instead of keep it on the exchange. Generally speaking, even just doing simple things like not using one exchange for everything. It's really easy to use Bittrex or Binance, for example, or Bitfinex for like 90% of your stuff. But if you can get it on different exchanges, it's probably worth doing, or like splitting it, because it just gives you that extra bit of insurance for if that exchange goes down. It's increasingly unlikely that those kind of things are going to happen these days, but it still happens. So yeah. I actually don't have a hardware wallet, no. I keep private keys backed up on USB sticks and on cloud storage that's totally unlinked to anything else I have, like totally unique email address, all the rest of it. What else do I do? That's it really. I've been looking at getting a safety deposit box actually. So if you live in the UK, Metro Bank, they have safety deposit boxes in all of their banks. So if you're hodling and you really want to keep it secure, put it on a thumb drive and a bit of paper, go put it in a bank. Because like you can spend, I think it's like £20 a month or something. So if you've got a decent amount of money, then that's a good way of securing it for the long term. And I plan on doing that soon. Bank, yes. As much as I like to discuss how cryptocurrencies will make banks irrelevant, what I really mean is current banking, fractional reserve banking, all of that kind of stuff, current accounts and interest rates and late fees, and even the idea of credit should hopefully be affected by cryptocurrencies and make it less common, because it's not really a good thing for society. But banks will survive, and they will actually move back to their old method of working, which is where you pay them money to protect things for you. Simple as that. And I'm okay with that. Hey, you could still have a decentralized bank. I'm sure it's possible. I get concerned about people getting in on Bitcoin. I think as long as people are investing sensibly, then it's not a problem. The key for newbies from the public who are coming in like total, fresh retail investors that just heard that it's a good store of value and want to put some money in it. The key is explaining to them that you can put in whatever amount you want. You do not have to buy a whole Bitcoin. That is the absolute key to making sure that the public invest responsibly. You do that, and then you just say, look, if it crashed tomorrow, would you be unhappy? If the answer is yes, you've put too much money in. Generally speaking, I mean, there's unhappy, and I guess there's like super unhappy. There will always be people that are gamblers that will risk everything to try and double their money, or whatever. But most people have people that are relying on them, and they have to keep a roof over their heads or over their children's heads or whatever. Maybe they've got a pet they really like. And those people won't gamble everything. So yeah, but Ben, you've got to think about everyone's got a price, right? Like I've sold some of my Bitcoin. I haven't sold it, but I bought things with it. And I know, like the jumper that I was wearing last stream, my Bitcoin jumper, my Bitcoin Christmas jumper, that cost me, I don't know, I could check, but it cost me a reasonable amount of Litecoin, like point, I don't know, point 0.5 or something of a Litecoin when I bought it. And now that would be worth more than double. That'd be worth more than double now. But I'm still okay with the decision because I've made loads of money off of this, and I have to enjoy that money at some point. I have to actually spend it. Money is pointless if it's just going to sit in your bank all the time. Like recently, because of how well I've done on eToro and my connections in blockchain and stuff, I've had various different parties approach me and offer me different jobs, consulting and working with ICOs and things like that. And some of them have offered me pretty silly amounts of money, if I'm completely honest. And I've said to them, like, that's not a motive for me anymore because I've already got so much money that I realistically, if I really wanted to, I could probably just retire now. I could probably just retire and live off the profits, trading by myself, not even as a popular investor, just casually trading. Um, but that's not what I want to do. The reason I trade is not because I want to make loads of money out of it. It's because I want to help other people make money out of it that don't normally have access to these markets. Most of the people that are copying me on eToro are copying me with less than $1,000. And those are the people that I want to help. If you're copying me with $300,000, then, that's fine and good for you. You want to make some more money. That's all good. Go for it. But my motive is to help everyone. And I've made that, I think I tried to make that as clear as possible. Like it's nice that I get to make a living out of it, but realistically, I'm a green. I vote green, and I believe that taxation is a good thing, and I believe that equality is important, and I think that the wealth gap in this country and many other countries is too high, and I want to help redistribute that. There is a this brings me on to something very, very cool, actually. And it made me so happy when I saw this. So, where is it? I'm not going to find it now. So, there was a Bitcoiner. Is this it? Here's the user on Reddit that posted about it. Let's see. Here we go. So, this guy, as you can see, is donating 5,057 Bitcoins to charity. Why? Because he bought them early and he's got more money than he knows what to do with. And so he proved what his address was, and he's started donating, and he's given $1 million here, $1 million there, $500,000 here, $500,000 there, across the internet. And he has created a website where anyone can go and apply for his money. You can just go and apply for some of his Bitcoin, and he'll donate it. And so there's like a full-on thing here. You can see exactly all the things that he's supported so far. EFF, that's one that's pretty close to my heart. I like the EFF water project. I believe there was one about cleaning the oceans. I can't remember what it's called. Like even small stuff. OpenBSD, 50k. You know, why not? It's super, super awesome. And like his FAQ is amazing. You know, I'm an individual. Can I get some Bitcoins? The answer is no. It's a charity, but not that kind of charity. And like people asking, you know, why he's doing it and all the rest of it. Why is it called a pineapple fund? I like pineapple. Like, it's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, casual $100 million. And this is part of what's so amazing about the people that have made money out of this. Because the really early adopters are a lot of people like me and people that are better than me in all honesty, to be honest. People that are very, very smart people who have been kind of overlooked by society, and they believe in a different world, and they're effectively they're millennials, right? And millennials are bored of this world where rich people get rich and poor people get poor. And we're not happy with the fact that everyone's ignoring climate change, and we're not happy with the fact that you know, that we're just consuming for the sake of consumption, and that people are allowed to get into massive debts before anything's done about it. All of these different situations, free healthcare, like these are generally things that millennials feel pretty strongly about, I think. Maybe it's just my own biased, like little bubble world that I live in that Facebook's made for me. But generally speaking, most people my age and below seem to believe in these things. And those people have now become very rich, a lot of them, thanks to Bitcoin. And now they're helping do what they want to do. Yeah, I mean, some of them are hippies, effectively. Some of them are hippies. They're like new age hippies. But I mean, that's what Bitcoin is, and that's what cryptocurrencies are. It's a reimagining of how things have to work. Why do we have to structure a company in this way? Why do we have to have profit and loss? Why can't we have cooperatives more? Why can't we do these things where we reward people for participating in a network? Why do we all go and use Facebook, and Facebook make millions and millions and millions and pay very little tax, and they show us loads of advertisements that we don't want to see? Why do we have to live in that world? Why can't we just build a decentralized platform where we're in control of it, and you know, we can see that our feeds aren't being manipulated by third parties, and that we're not getting advertised things that we don't want to see, and all the rest of it. Like, there's no reason that we can't do all of these things. So I am the captain now. I've always been very political and philosophical. That's just who I am. And a lot of people hate me for it. But like, you know, I got a message, someone used the contact me form on my website to ask me for tax advice. And they're like, where should I move to pay less tax? And I'm like, you're talking to someone that believes that we should be paying more tax. I am in the top tax bracket in the UK now, and I still want to pay more tax. It's just how it is. And this, by the way, is part of the reason that I don't like trading things like Ripple and Amazon. You know, Amazon, I like Amazon in a lot of ways because it does build better products for consumers, but sometimes they are really hurting other areas of the economy, such as paying tax. Say I invest 100k in traders who are doing well. Could I live off that? Probably just about. I mean, I wouldn't rely on it. But yes, you probably could. I mean, it depends how much you need to live each year, right? I mean, you can do the maths yourself and figure out what kind of percentage every month you need of profit, and you know, and figure it out. Yes, the government is very inefficient at spending tax money, and that's also where blockchains can help, because eventually they will just replace the government. We'll have a decentralized autonomous organization voted on by all of the network holders. You get to participate in the networks you like and help support them. It's as simple as that. Brock from the EOS project does a bunch of talks where he talks about like community and the way that he sees ICOs and projects built on top of blockchains going. And he comes to pretty much the same kind of conclusion as me, which is that eventually, when automation takes over and there are not very many jobs left because there's self-driving vehicles and there's self-scan checkouts at supermarkets and machines that automatically build cars and blockchains have replaced accountants and all the rest of it. When we're living in that world, how do people make money? Well, they make money by contributing to communities, and then the communities pay back to those people. It's that simple. There are a few projects working on decentralized governance. Aragon is probably the most well-known one. I mean, in theory, Dash has done it. In theory, the DAO was, I guess, the first attempt in some respects. Augur is kind of working on that in kind of a roundabout way with prediction markets. I'll be back in 2 seconds, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed staring at the Christmas tree while I was gone. You can't quite see the star. That makes me sad. I've not really achieved very much in this stream, have I? I've done basically no trading. Nothing's really changing though, so looks like I actually sold at a pretty good price on here. What did I sell at? 57.16, I think, something like that. 57.11. Good price. I could go reopen that now. Right. Made you $4. Soon retired. Dash nearing 1k. I actually took a little bit of money out of Dash recently. A little bit. Or did I? No, that's about the same. I thought I did. 1,200 was my target for Dash for the end of the year. That's where I'm looking. I don't think it's really rallied as much as some of the other altcoins. It deserves to rally more. It should be a similar kind of market cap to Litecoin, I think. I think Dash and Litecoin are both very similar in terms of their progress, their community size, the teams that are working on them. Ben, that's enough to retire. Come on, what are you playing at? Especially if you like own a house already. That's enough to retire. Like you'd have to invest some of it, obviously, to let it, keep working for you. But yeah, I think I've got 2 positions in MU. 3 positions in MU. I'm pretty okay with the MU. Really annoyed me because I called it during this rally here, right? I bought some at like down here somewhere, I think, and it went up, and I sold it like here, and then I rebought some more. And it went up a bit further, and then like it hit 45, and I was like, this is overvalued now. This is getting silly. This is overvalued. I should close it. But I kept it open, and that position is still with me, I think, and it's like minus 12% now because I kept it open, even though I said like this is getting overvalued. This needs a correction. Let's see, which one was it? No, that one wasn't it. Maybe that was it actually. Yeah, I bought after it had gone above 45, and I still like went up in profit. Did the same thing with Square. Exact same thing with Square. I didn't listen to myself. If you actually look at my Square positions and my MU positions, they're really similar. I have one position that's like really, really far down because I bought when I shouldn't have, and then 2 new positions that are both looking pretty healthy. I did talk about Naga. It was basically fuck Naga. They need to stop advertising literally everywhere. I looked at Naga about a month ago, and it didn't really seem all that interesting. It's got a bunch of big names, but nothing really all that exciting going on. Let's have a look at it. I know I said I wouldn't give them any airtime, but let's go and have a look at it anyway. I just hate so much to dislike about this. Where's the advisors? I think I've gone past them, haven't I? So basically, Naga, right, is taking something called swipe stocks, which I'm going to look up for you now. I think that's how you spell it. And building it on a blockchain, right? Swipe stocks is basically eToro but worse. So instead of copying all of a trader's positions automatically and letting them do everything for you, you kind of manually copy individual positions. Although maybe that one's not actually. Yeah, that looks like it's got the same thing, basically, auto copy. So it's effectively like eToro, but they're building it decentralized, blah 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 blah, supposedly. But like they've hyped up what they've got at the moment so much. Swipe stocks is tiny. Forward slash eToro.com, right? So we're going to go on Alexa and we're going to search for the website information for eToro, right? Just to give you an idea of how big eToro is, right? So here's eToro, and they are actually very similar in size to Steam, the Steam blockchain, right? So they are a big website, top 2,500 websites in the world, still rising. Look at that trend line, loving it. And they're doing very well. Germany loves them. 609th most popular website in Germany. And you can see Europe is basically where most of their traffic comes from. France, UK doing very well. You can see the bounce rate. You can see all sorts of statistics. This is our website that's used loads by web developers and stuff. I mean, it's not used that much because it's kind of inaccurate and a bit shitty, really. But but you know, it's still used by a lot of people. And now let's try swipe stocks. Now remember, it's going to be a bit higher now because they've just gone through this massive boom during their ICO and stuff. Realistically, you can't see it because I don't have premium, but normally you can go back further in the history and stuff. These guys were tiny. Now, I mean, that should tell you an awful lot, right? That should tell you an awful lot. Nigeria is the place that's fucking searching them all the time. And they are just properly just targeting people to buy into this ICO and this product. But in reality, nobody's using this product. Nobody uses swipe stocks. It's pretty much just marketing hype, absolute marketing hype, the same as Electronium was, pure marketing hype, and it's very dangerous to invest in things that have that much hype, and no real substance beneath them. Like they talk the talk, but there's nothing in their white paper from what I saw that explains how they're going to do any of it. There's plenty of other projects that are already competing with them that have equally or better teams. I always copy 5 traders. Well, that's nice. I'm sure you copy them with like $1,000. You know, there's the amount of money that's on eToro now is like in the hundreds of millions. In fact, I'm pretty sure that like probably during that Ripple boom yesterday, like eToro will have generated over $100 million for people that are using eToro. This website probably doesn't have $100 million on it. Like, I just don't know how to explain it enough. Whoa, don't be hating on jnemesis.com, all right? But to put it into perspective, right, on just how trivial this website is, I used to run a website. I'll just close it. I used to run a website, and it got up to 50,000 on Alexa rankings, which is actually where you're kind of approaching a decent sort of size, and you're getting reasonable traffic, like maybe 1 million hits a month, 2 million hits a month, 3 million hits a month even at the time. And so that's where Swipe Stocks is now. After all of this hype, with all of this marketing and stuff that's going on, they're everywhere. They're on Facebook. They're on fucking eToro. They've got shills going on to eToro, making accounts and talking about them loads. 3 million hits. Uniques that is as well, by the way. Just so you know. So like, even with this crazy marketing plan, people going around everywhere advertising it, they've only just reached a point that's not even as high as the website that I made with 2 friends for making tournaments on esports games. It's not even as high as those. Not even as high as that. And we didn't advertise anywhere, ever. Ever. We didn't ever advertise our product. And these guys are struggling to keep up with that. I'm sorry, but it's fucking shit. It's unacceptable to expect to raise millions and millions of dollars when they've not even built a product that's used by more than probably 15,000 people. Simple as that. Simple as that. And I'm sure there'll be people that come along and complain, and you've done an unfair review of this because you're just basing it off their traffic. But at the end of the day, that's one of the metrics you have to look at for these things. Be interesting to see what you guys think. Oh, is Liam beating me on website ranking? Who's higher, me or Liam? Oh, I'm beating Liam. Yeah. I love that all of you guys are now using Alexa to find out site rankings. But yeah, the fact that a bunch of their traffic is coming from suspicious places, mainly from India and Nigeria. Their website is not used by very many people, and certainly was used by a lot less before. I'm pretty sure if we go on their Twitter and Facebook, we're going to see a bunch of fake followers. Okay, maybe not, but they've got less followers on their Twitter for Swipe Stocks than I do. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. They're just posting memes. There's nothing substantial under it, and it just annoys me. It just grinds my gears. Yes, I know of Victor. I went off Victor when he called me a shit trader. He called me a shit trader for going in and out of cryptocurrencies so much and for selling positions in red, even though I then bought them back even cheaper, literally the next day. But yeah, he was calling me out on my trading style, and I think that he's actually not a very good trader, and that he's just basically survived off the crypto boom. As Bitmad said. Like honestly, out of the Green Star investors, there are very few that I think are bad traders. Like maybe 2. Maybe 2. But Fustic is actually probably the one that I respect the least in terms of performance, because I think he doesn't actually really trade. He just buys and holds cryptocurrencies without even much knowledge of cryptocurrencies. Like Liam buys and holds with like really solid fundamentals behind it, and technicals behind it actually, which annoys me because he's way better at technical than I am. For example, but like Liam knows his stuff. Like if Liam wanted to, he could probably trade actively and smash everyone. Maybe, I think. I've said that for a while now. Sorry, Liam, I'm like bigging you up now, but I think Liam is one of the best traders on the platform. And I look at Fastic, and he just buys Bitcoin and waits for it to go up. and that's it. There's no when there's forks, when there's drama, when there's news, he doesn't know anything about it. He just holds, and it's way more risky to do that. Yeah, Liam Bavis or something. I can't remember his name. Probably nobody. No, I do like Liam. Colby is a good trader. I like Colby. And Fastic's going to get really annoyed when he sees this. But hey, he started it. He started picking on me saying I was a bad trader, and that made me actually look at what he was doing, and I believe that he's not very good. This guy called Bitcoin, yeah, pretty good. But like there's a bunch of traders that I really think are very good on eToro, and some of them aren't green stars. And I think people look at cryptocurrencies too much, but people like Forex Pirate is an amazing trader, absolutely amazing trader. People like Good Going as well, amazing trader. And it takes a lot of discipline for them not to just buy cryptocurrencies and put it in their portfolio. And I think that if you're not copying them, you should be, even with a small amount, because it's great diversification. And honestly, they deserve it because they are very skilled at making money out of markets that most people can't make money out of. So there you go. That's my thoughts. So actually, I'll show you my second portfolio, just so you can see where my money is so far. I've been basically my popular investor payments. I've been swinging back into this, and so this month I copied Liam, Steebliss, and Forex, all with the same amount. Same amount for most of the traders. Mr. Thor's got disproportionately more at the moment. Good Going's got disproportionately less. To be honest, I'll probably balance everyone out at some point, I think. Or to a certain point. I think I need to put a lot more behind these two than I have at the moment. And probably a bit more behind Alex and Wesley as well. And Mr. Thor's probably about right. But like, I need to try and balance it because obviously I have a lot of crypto already, so I don't want to go too heavily into Liam, Steebliss, Mr. Thor. But yeah, these are my favorite green stars basically. Holy shit! So you recommend eToro? Yeah, of course. This is my diversification. I wouldn't be trading on eToro if I didn't think it was a good product. At the end of the day, I want exposure to markets that I don't trade, and these people allow me to do that, and they do it really well. Can we see the numbers? What numbers do you want to see? Like how much is in this account, or? Damn it, Adam! I can't afford this. You're gonna have to stop. I can't really show you because I'd have to like go on another like incognito window or something to log in because it can't be logged in twice on the same browser. But it's now up to like basically the same balance as this invested in that portfolio. So like $40,000 is on that portfolio, and I know people will be like, "Whoa, that doesn't seem right," because you've got potentially more in that one than I do in this one, for example. But what you've got to remember is that I'm also hedging against what I've actually got in cryptocurrency. So honestly, I'll probably get that balance up to like 100,000 or something before I stop funding it. And at that point, I don't know what I'll do. Probably buy some solar panels. And then after that, I don't know because it's too much money to spend. So I'll probably just start a pineapple fund or something similar. What he really should have done, actually, is set up a donation address here so people can just donate to his fund. I wonder if anyone's done that. I wonder if anyone's donated to his fund. Because that would be a smart thing to do. Good idea to copy with lower amounts. Depends what you mean by lower amounts. I think copying with anything under $500 is something you should try and avoid. Realistically, you want your copies to be at $1,000 where possible, or higher. After that, it doesn't really make too much difference. So you can, if you've got $25,000, you could copy 25 people with $1,000 each, and that would still be fine. Or you could copy, you know, 5 people with $5,000. Nat gas in free fall. Oh, it's Bitmad. Bitmad always does good calls. Oh, yeah, it is. Should I hashtag buy the dip? Well, there's overnight fees for buying, though. Oh, no, refund for buying. Substantial refund. So I can just hodl. I can just hodl it. Well, since you've so kindly brought this to my attention. By the way, I think eToro fixed their charts because it never seems to lag anymore. I don't know if me going there has like changed something, but I'm kind of enjoying it. I might switch back to using it a bit more, just because it's built in. It just feels easier to find things and move between things. I'm used to the UI more, I guess. Well, this looks interesting. Do we have any idea what's causing this? I mean, I say that like. I swear, AltCure is just like the biggest troll. As soon as I open the page, AltCure's on it. You're like the pre-J. You could start a copy a copy fund and only trade on Tuesdays and Fridays and just copy everything I do. Not a copy fund, popular investor. It should go up. I mean, it's winter. Brexit. So it gets cheaper. Yeah. Nowadays, I just do it every single time. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of tempting. I've traded net gas a couple of times. The question is how long term to trade it, really. This seems like an unsustainable drop. It's kind of skirting along the bottom of this RSI. Let's open some thingies. Where is my favorite indicator gone? Yes, that is fine, but I want you to be orange because I like the color orange. Parabolic Sar is still bearish on 4 hour and 1 hour and 1 day and 30 minutes and 15 minutes, but that's about to switch, and 10 minutes, but that's about to switch, and 5 minutes, but that's about to switch. Basically, I need to wait like at least until like 5 o'clock before I do this. Quick, sell before he does. Sell before he does. He's going to close all open crypto positions. Wow. Why? Yeah, I didn't seem to find the email about the stuff. I get so many like spammed emails these days because of eToro from like new copiers and stuff. Because of the stop losses. It is a big problem. It is a big problem. I don't know if eToro have really thought it through. That's why I said like they need a middle ground. They need to just say, look, it's not guaranteed. What is going on here? How? What? That was weird. We're heading up to the next thingy soon as well. So I will probably be moving some Bitcoin around specifically as we get closer to the futures. Litecoin's back on the up. That's good news. The thing is that Wes has got enough money copying him, the same as me, that I think actually if he had a substantial amount of money invested in cryptos, he could probably move the market a bit on some of the smaller ones. The same as I think I probably could. I think eToro as a whole has the power to move markets in crypto. Maybe not Bitcoin or Ripple or Litecoin, but certainly like Ethereum Classic, for example. Yeah, I think that would be smarter as well, Adam. I mean, I'll chat to eToro afterwards and suggest it to them and just say, look, this is what I think. This is what my community seem to agree with. Yeah. Can you forward the email to me, Liam, or like just copy paste it into the Discord, just so I can see it. Chris Remus price to earnings Bitcoin indicator. Are you talking about? Is he the guy that uses the network effect effectively to use as an indicator? Because there's a guy that does that and it worked out reasonably well for him. Everyone's short cryptos, Wes closes. No, buy the dip. Hashtag buy the dip. Da, da. Short me. I never went to Wes's profile. I typed it in, but I never went there. But he's right. Like we need access to the tool, even if the tool isn't guaranteed to work. That still gives us some sort of risk mitigation. Because otherwise, like it really could go badly. Like it is going to be difficult. Even I'm going to have to think about maybe trading it a bit less, or yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. It is difficult. CNBC would short Jay. Bloomberg would short me as well. Imagine if you could short copy bad traders. Maybe they should call it something different to a stop loss, like a maybe stop loss. I don't think I'll be trading mine. To be honest, I actually think if me and Wes both kind of put a little bit of pressure on eToro about it, they may change their mind a bit, possibly. especially if our communities are agreeing with us. Maybe I'll do a poll on Twitter and you guys can vote on what you think should happen, and then I can kind of use that as evidence. I'm not going to close the cryptos. I'm not going to close my cryptos. And part of the reason is that although it means that it's going to make my daily trading life a little bit more difficult, and I'm going to have to hodl through some big drops a lot more because I won't be there to see it when it's happening and sell. That my knuckles, yeah. Sorry. Although I won't be able to take advantage of some of the little drops that happen as much, and I'll be forced to hodl more. I still think it's worthwhile investment. It's just a bit frustrating. It could be fat stacks. That could be the problem. It could just be that it's a lot of work for them because maybe they can't automate it as much as they do with other stuff. Thank you, Liam. Yeah, so you can still set price alerts. I have mixed opinions on Xavier, or Javier, how you want to pronounce it. eToro decision, new Patreon decision. Yeah, what was the Patreon stuff? Didn't they made a pretty big, bold move recently because they're trying to prepare themselves to be saleable to someone. And they started taking off anyone who wasn't making enough money with them or something. Crazy. Who really wants to? What's your opinion on it, Liam? You haven't? I don't know if you gave it earlier. I didn't see it. Hmm. I guess we'll have to start a petition. I mean, it varies. It varies a little bit across different traders, but it's basic. Sorry, I should mention who I'm replying to. Bleed. Yeah, it varies a bit between different traders based on how big their position sizes are, but that's what it comes down to basically is that the minimum actual trade size for a copy trade is $1. So if you invest $100 and someone opens more than 100 positions, then you can't copy them all, full stop. On top of that, you have the fact that if it's $1 and something goes up by 0.01% or whatever, or 0. I don't know. You kind of get the idea. The numbers aren't as like divisible, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but basically, you won't earn the same as what the trader's earning. Whereas with like $1,000 plus, you pretty much should. As like a rule of thumb, you should with $1,000 plus. And of course, there are some traders that will open positions at like 0.5% of their portfolio and all the rest of it. So basically, it's about making sure that you're actually trading them efficiently, or copying them efficiently. Yeah. So that's why like 1,000 is like what you should try and aim for. If you're only on eToro and you've only got like, I don't know, $250 in your account, put all of that $250 in one trader until you hit like at least $1,000, and then you could maybe split it in half and put it into two traders. But that's the safe thing to do. Again, like you can copy with less, it just won't be quite as efficient. So maybe we should all go and use Naga. No, no. Uh-oh, eToro TV have chimed in. Quick, everyone tell them what you think about the stop loss thing. If you're watching eToro, quite broadly among my copiers, Wesley, Liam, myself, we all think that stop losses should continue to be allowed, but not turned on by default. We also think that you just need to make effectively a disclaimer saying that you don't guarantee the price. Because things like trailing stop loss, for example, is a great way of closing trades. And myself and Liam and many others use that on cryptos on a daily basis. So it depends what's causing it, but that's just our opinion. And that's my pitch to you. There you go. We would rather that we are protected for, let's say, 75% of a big drop, and that you don't guarantee the price on it, and that sometimes that will catch us out 1% of the time, than not to have the functionality at all. Because if we're really worried about that, we can turn it off. Oh, I've opened a can of worms. I am sorry if this starts a big argument of craziness, but I think you should. Yeah, I'm fired. No. But yeah, I think you should consider the options. It depends what's causing it. I don't know what's causing it, so. Stop loss or riot. Time to buy XRP. Oh man, they're gonna regret coming in and saying I'll reet. I want to know who was watching from them. Who it is. I wonder who it is. I wonder if it's Matt or if it's Renee. Regardless, hello. I'm watching their chat just in case they decide to comment. Sorry, wrong login. It was Matt. Now we know. Majority of people will be happy. Again, I think you just need to turn it off by default and just say, look, you have an option to turn the stop loss on or off, and I think that's how it should be. Mistakes were made. I think that's how it should be. Like Wesley has, I don't know if you've seen this, Matt, but Wes just posted that he's basically going to close all of his crypto positions because of it, and probably not trade them. And even for me, like it's putting me in difficult situations because I just can't trade as actively on it. Basically, can't trade as actively. And Liam agrees, and I haven't spoken to Steveless yet, but I imagine that he's probably thinking pretty similar. Soft stop loss, yeah, that's what you need. Da 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 da. Because the other thing is, how do we still get stop losses if we're shorting? Because that could be a problem as well. Because you could lose more than you have in your account potentially. Steeblis agrees. Anyway, now that I've opened that can of worms, eh? I do have a streaming schedule. I stream Tuesdays and Fridays, and occasionally I stream like playing games and stuff in between. I haven't actually looked at how many viewers I've had this stream. It doesn't show me for some reason. Why doesn't it show me? I don't know how many viewers I've got. How many viewers does it say I've got? What was it at earlier? Someone tell me. It's always useful to know. Okay, okay. Tuesdays are always more popular for some reason. I am 29 and I started trading about 10 years ago. I can't actually remember the exact age, but I think I was probably 18 or 19. I don't need a live update on how many viewers I've got. It's just like someone posts it every time it changes. I knew that you guys would start posting it again when I said that. My name is Jay Nemesis and I'm a tradeaholic. I've been trading for 8 years now, or 10 years now. Buy AMD, it goes up. Okay, I will do that now. Buy. I'm fine to sit on my AMD. Fine to sit on it. I did, as you can see, I moved a few positions around just because the amounts were getting a bit small. There's still some that are a bit small, but I didn't want to do it all at once. Natgash, you ugly beast. Oh, what's it doing? Oh, has it gone back up? Oh no, it's still going down. That's fine. So yeah, Parabolic Sars, man, they don't lie. They don't lie. It wasn't time yet. I said at 5 o'clock. And it's now 5 o'clock. So now I should probably look at it again. Let's see. They're still not catching fast enough. They're still not catching quite fast enough. So probably another 15 minutes at least. You know what? Probably more than that. Looking at these Parabolic Sars, this is not looking healthy at all. One day. No. This is not looking healthy, guys. It might be a tomorrow jobby, to be honest. On that gas, might be a tomorrow jobby. We said 15 minutes, but that was because we'd seen a green candle and it was starting to look like it would turn around. But it seems to be accelerating at the moment. See, look, you can see here, this is what I mean. Like, this got very close to hitting on the 10 minutes. If it hits on the 10 minutes, it's more likely that it will start to turn around gradually. The 15-minute would hit, the 30-minute would hit. It will come onto the bottom side and start supporting. So have a look on the weekly chart. How far did the charts go back on eToro for this? Okay, good. That's pretty good. They go pretty far. Yeah. So if they go below 250-ish, that's pretty big. Matt, you can tell the products team that I'm using their charts again, and they'll be so happy. And it's just because it stopped lagging. That's literally why. That, and if I mean, it'll still be, if it starts deleting my lines again, I will get annoyed, but yeah, I guess that's the support. It's right on it now. So it could bounce here, actually. Where's the next level? I guess down to 500-ish, maybe a little bit below it. They already have the disclaimer. Yeah, the Parabolic Sar. Oh, I've lost my charts. I'm just like scrolling through things aimlessly now. Did I close it? I must have closed it. Let's close that rubbish. Don't need this open anymore. Don't need this open anymore. I must have closed it. Yeah, so the parabolics are these little dots that appear over or underneath the candle. And effectively what they do is they start off at the height of the previous like rally, I guess. So you can see that this one is in line with this one. This one is in line with this one. This one up here is in line with the top of this one, etc., etc. So you can kind of see how that works going across. And the same on the other side. So this one down here is in line with the bottom of this candle. And so what happens is when they flip, they switch to the lowest of that period where it was on the other side, the lowest point or the highest point, depending which way it's flipping. And then it gradually kind of tracks down or up over time, trying to catch up with the price, parabolically, basically. And yeah, it's just super useful. When if you look through the different time frames, if they're all on one side, that's very either bullish or bearish, depending which side they're on. And you can kind of try and figure out when it's gonna flip, when it's gonna collide. So like you could kind of predict here pretty easily. For example, let's come along here. You see this massive red candle come down. You've already seen a couple of red candles before it coming down. You're like, okay, that's probably going to hit pretty soon because, you know, it's not a big gap for it to come down to now. You can also look at like support and resistance levels to see how likely it is to actually breach that gap, because if there's a support here, then maybe it wouldn't, or maybe it would just go flat for long enough for this to catch up. So there's like a lot of things you kind of have to look at, but I just find it super reliable. I don't even know how I found the Parabolic Sar or how I learned how to use it or anything. But I love it. I've only been using it for like 2 years or something, and I absolutely love the Parabolic Sar. It just seems to work on everything for me. Especially in combination with like Fibonacci's and like support resistance, and just like some basic trends like head and shoulders and wedge formations and things. I hope that explains it. If you want to actually read up on the actual mathematics of how it works and what settings to use and stuff, you can go on to Investopedia. I use actually the default. I think it's the default settings on TradingView. I'm not sure actually. I might have changed them on TradingView, but on here it's the default settings that I use. Yeah, I use it on cryptos. I use it on cryptos all the time. MU explosion before earnings report. Yeah, we'll see. Teach us more about them. It's weird, like it is weird. Everyone always asks like what my favorite indicator is, and most people haven't heard of the Parabolic Sar. Like I don't know how I found it. I wish I did. I wish I knew how I found the how I found the Parabolic Sar and how I even learned how it worked. I might have even just invented how it works. Maybe that's not how you meant to use it, but that's how I use it and it works. um, let's have a look on Investopedia for it and actually read what it says. So there's also a SAR, by the way. You can have a SAR or a Parabolic Sar. But I use the Parabolic Sar. Guess this? No. They got like sponsored links on here now. That's really annoying. They do. Man, that's annoying. Oh, parabolic indicator. But I want the parabolic SAR. Cell signals. Ooh. Trailing stop and reverse method. Called a SAR. Stop and reverse. There you go. Now you know what SAR stands for. And it's reminded me because I entirely forgot what it stood for. Good exit and entry points. Yeah. So basically they're suggesting that you buy and sell when it flips. Whereas I prefer to try and preempt when it's going to and do it just before, because buying here and then selling here does well, and like selling here and then buying here, you know, still does well. Like, but if you look at it, the gap between there and there is pretty small, whereas the gap between like here and here is a lot bigger. So if you can actually predict it, then you can make much bigger gains. I think I am using it basically right though, so that's okay. Sell and rally. Stop and reverse, sell and rally. Yeah, could be sell and rally. Stop and reverse sounds more likely though, because it hits, it stops, and then it reverses. The benefit of opening lots of small positions instead of one big position is that you would still say pay basically the same on the spread and fees, and it means that you can slowly build your way into a position and build your way out of a position. So you can slowly taper your way in and taper your way out. That's basically the advantage. It means that if you're not sure about a decision, you can take 50% out and leave 50% in, and you can be on both sides of it, and then you're happy no matter what happens to a certain extent. Yeah, maybe I could do that. I could explain a few features. I mean, I like to refer people to the videos made by Social Trading Vlog on YouTube for that kind of stuff, because he really explains them way better than I would. Um, yeah, I just think he's good at it. Look at Nvidia, YE Toro. Let's look at Nvidia first. Tempted to close this position on Bitcoin, because in the back of my mind I am wary that we may be going through the same pattern that we were prior to the last futures market, and that it's repeating itself. I'm going to close this one just while it's in profit. And I might close one more, maybe. We're still like, yeah, I think I'll close one more. I don't want to close too many is the thing. I'm on the fence about closing one more actually. Yeah, I'll close one more. That's it. That's me done. Got some money to buy back when it goes lower if it does. If it doesn't, never mind. And come on, Dash. Come on. You can do it, mate. I believe in you. Nvidia. Finally seeing some gains. It's like this one candle. I say finally, it's just returning to where it was a week ago, basically. Yeah, you see, look, now Parabolic Sar in here is looking pretty good on a 4-hour chart, because that is almost certainly going to hit in this candle, if not next candle. And if we go to the 1 day, it's getting close, so the 4-hour should come to support it. 1 hour is probably already flipped. Yes, it has. Managed to avoid gliding there, which is why you saw the breakout. As you can see that happen, and it's like it becomes obvious that it's going to break out most of the time. 30-minute. So I had a very short stint on this side. before switching again. 15. So yeah, this is looking very bullish actually. I'm tempted to buy some more actually because I think this move's got some momentum behind it. Looking at the 4 hour, this should probably come up to like 200 level maybe, potentially, which is quite a big move. It might not. It might just peter out in the middle here. Let's draw some resistance lines. That'll help. So yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. Is there one that not really? Probably here. It's like 195, 196. And if none of you've ever like drawn support resistance lines, it's basically literally just where do candles line up really well, pretty much, because it just kind of shows a hesitation to go above or below certain price points. So there's a few on here. Some are stronger than others. Like the standard 200 one is pretty obvious as well. So yeah, it could just come up to this level and then kind of drop back down. It could just hit the same as where it hit here. Parabolic Sar, you just click up here, head into Studies 2 because they're in alphabetical order, and maybe it's not Studies 2. Yeah, it is Studies 2. There you go, Parabolic Sar. And I use it on basically the default settings, except I change the color to orange because I like the color orange on charts. It looks nice. $32K. No. 32K is definitely too high. What you mean up to here? It's possible. I don't think it will do it during this move. I think it will do that during earnings probably. Can I recommend a Canadian copy trader? I think Colby is Canadian. Pretty sure Colby's Canadian and he's a decent trader too. So Colby Martin or whatever his name is, something like that. Want to wager on it? I'm not a betting man, he says. Says the trader. I mean, we can do a friendly wager that doesn't involve money. It involves me creating like a little label above. I'll have like a stream where I just say Bitmad knows better than Jay or something above my webcam for like an entire stream. There you go. I'll do that if I lose. What do I get if I win? I'm fine for some fun little wagers, but maybe not a pint. It's always a pint. My predictions for Litecoin, I said when it reached 350 that it would probably crash down to like 275, 250 area, which it did, and that it would eventually settle at about 300, which I think it's about to do. Long term, I don't know, it's hard to tell. I think next year probably another 100% gain on Litecoin at least, especially if Bitcoin really takes off because people just look for the next Bitcoin and Litecoin's very similar, so it could happen. I get a BJ. A pint of Bitcoins, yeah. Ugh. So the question is, do I buy in on this move or are we too late for it? Let's go on the 15-minute chart. Let's go on the 5-minute chart. First big red candle. And that's about to hit. 10-minute chart. Still a pretty decent way to go. I think I've probably missed this move. To be honest, I think it's just going to come up to this level here and sit there. So, unfortunate. Unfortunate miss, but never mind. Win some, you lose some. Technically, you could fit the entire blockchain into a pint because you could just transfer everything to one address and then print that one address on a piece of paper and just put it in there. Boom. I mean, you could also just download the entire blockchain onto like a USB stick or something, or like save every wallet address in a text file on a USB stick. You might need a few text files and a few USB sticks. My thoughts on dogs. My thoughts on dogs, the animal. I'm glad you clarified because I was like, dogs? I've not heard of this cryptocurrency. I'm a cat person. Sorry, I've got 2 cats. I grew up with cats. I'm not much of a dog person. Cats are superior. They're just way funnier, to be honest. They're so stupid. So stupid but so smart at the same time. It's hilarious. I love cats. Did they cite it as liquidation being the problem? Intel appears pretty bullish. I haven't looked at Intel yet. To be honest, I actually haven't really looked at most of these yet, chart-wise. AMD is doing nicely today. About time. Western Digital has been pretty bearish recently. It was at 82 yesterday, I think, and now it's down to 81. Garmin has been super bearish. Crazy, crazy action going on. Which makes me sad. So look at that. Unbelievable. That just never happens. That just never happens that you see that on a Parabolic Sar. So odd. Gaps down. Must have been earnings. Did I miss an earnings call? Guess I did. That'll teach me. I didn't think there would be any earnings this early, but I guess I've missed an earnings call on Garmin, so I'm going to have to go and listen to that because I was big on Garmin, and I'm still big on Garmin. I'm a big fan of them. But looks like I may have been wrong, so I may have to go and check out their earnings call. I can't believe I missed one. Let's go and check on finance.google.com, see if the earnings are on there. No, it doesn't look like it. Unless I got it wrong. Why would it gap so much? Maybe there's some news came out. Dividends. There's really like, there's nothing. Let's go and have a look at somewhere a bit more reputable. Sexcoin. Fucking Sexcoin. Swear to God. Where was I going to look? I can't remember. Where was I going to go? Trading view. Da, da, da. Where does it show earnings on here? Liam, help. Where's earnings? Where's earnings? Fitbit's not a buy. Fitbit is a sell. Where does it say where their earnings are? I can find that earnings per share. Where's their earnings? Let's go on the chart. I think it shows you on the chart. Um, I mean, that's not what I wanted, but okay. Ooh. Oh, 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 oh. I drew that a while ago. We're at this part. We're at this part. Over here. That goes flat. Then it kind of goes up. Wonder if it'll happen. I wonder. Find me Garmin. Okay. Dividend payment. That's why everyone's cashing out with their free money. How dare they? Everyone hanging out for the dividends. I believe eToro actually gives dividends, so maybe that's what that payment was the other day. No, that would have been too much money for it. But yeah, interesting. Interesting. I'm okay with it. I'm still going to hodl. I'm going to hodl my Garmin. I say that, I actually just got a notification on my watch from Mr. Matt Newton on my Garmin. How's that? That is just, it's just not on, mate. It's not on. '19, I really want to learn how to trade, but at the moment I have no knowledge at all. I have some tips for learning trading. Probably start practicing first of all. Just start practicing. Second of all, use websites like Investopedia, Seeking Alpha, eToro, YouTube to just kind of like learn about different trading styles, like swing trading, day trading, scalping, like all these different kind of techniques and things that people use. Learn about fundamentals, learn about technical analysis. There's probably some really good books, but I don't read books, so I can't recommend you any. So yeah, I don't know. Just look around. Honestly, it's not as a lot easier to learn than it used to be. Because of course it used to be a big closed thing, and no one would tell anyone how they were doing it. It was all very secretive. But in this stream, you've just seen me like openly explain how I use the Parabolic Sar, for example. And I'm pretty sure if you go on YouTube, there'll be loads of people explaining similar things. And yeah, I think that's it really. To be honest, practice a lot on the practice account. Practice with real money, but practice with like the minimum trade sizes, the smallest you can. Just so you can't lose much money for like a long time as well, like potentially even a year. Just anything that you actually want to invest, you should use copy trading for now, and then just practice with a tiny amount of money because real money makes you act very differently to fake money. So worth bearing that in mind. Yes, I've heard of Baby Pips. I've not been there, but I have heard of Baby Pips. Why are people? You saw the people backing Ripple. Do you really think they're going to fail? Oh man, did you see the people backing AOL and Yahoo? You really think they're going to fail? Oh, oh. Chelsten's letting me know what's going on with nat gas. Let's have another look and see what time frame we're looking at. So 1 hour is still a very long way away. 30 minutes still a long way away. But look, you can see this candle's very small now at this resistance line. 2 candles at this resistance line, just below it. And yeah, this one's getting pretty close now. 10 minutes probably about to hit. Yep. 5 minute just hit. 5 minute just hit. And you can see that on 5 minutes it actually just peaked above the line as well. So yeah, now is actually probably a pretty reasonable time to be buying. Like even if you compare it to like here, where you have like these 2 big candle drops, or like this one over here, buying down here, you're pretty safe to make money out of it, even if it's not loads, as long as you use like a trailing stop. So I think I'll give it probably another 5 minutes, then I'll go buy, just to be safe. Just to be safe. People just love centralized coins. Yeah. I think that's part of the problem as well. Like, I really value decentralization very highly. It's what makes Bitcoin work. It's what has made Bitcoin have this much value. Because if you could seize it, it would never have got this far. It would have been shut down. And that's actually kind of the only reason that Ripple has even been allowed to survive, to be honest. They've worked with regulators, but even if they worked with regulators, if Bitcoin didn't exist in a decentralized form, and they, you know, if Ripple wasn't competing against something else, they probably would have shut down Ripple, to be honest. I think. So, Vermi5 knows how it works. It was a female, so I replied. That's how it works. That's how I decide. That's hit and miss. Sometimes I reply, sometimes I don't. Like, sometimes they're a man and I don't reply, and sometimes they're a woman and I do reply. Man, I'm out of monster. I need more. Bu- 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 bu. It hasn't been a mistake. Why are people insisting that it's like some sort of a mistake that I've made and I'm upset that I've made a mistake and that's why I was talking shit about Ripple all year. Oh my god. These people. Like they really think that I'm just angry because I didn't invest in it. I'm happy that I did invest in it. So are a lot of my copiers. That's why they invest in me, because I have like really strict standards for how I choose to trade cryptocurrencies. Oh dear. What was my worst trade this year? Not buying Ripple. Yeah. Worst trade this year, AMD. It's probably AMD at the moment. If it doesn't recover by Christmas, which it probably won't, unless their earnings is good, then it actually will be AMD. So there you go. AMD will be my worst trade of the year. The one that I've talked about all year. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's this? Oh, yes. Amazing. Amazing. Good reference.
Look at your M closely. There's a gap right here in the letter M. It's never connected. So you go into Hebrew.
Okay,
The letter Vav is also the number 6.
Oh,
short top, long tail. Short top, long tail.
Amazing.
You could have here in Hebrew 666 on the can.
Oh, she's right.
But my interest is the word monster.
Look at that.
What do
O.
you see in the
There's a
O?
line in it. What's that for?
There's a cross.
Oh, there's a cross.
What has Christ got to do with an energy
I
drink?
mean, there's a cross because there's two lines that touch each other. Ah, this person, probably big fan of Ripple. I'm just kidding. Oh dear. What are we doing? What are we doing with our lives? Well, I am an atheist, so maybe that's why. Yeah, if you think about it, Ripple, yeah. Like if you take the numbers of all of the letters in the alphabet and then divide that total number once you've added them up by 6, then it comes to 6, and that's 2 6s, and you only need to add a third 6 for it to be 666. Now you know. How much do I normally sleep? Pretty average, to be honest. Like between 5 and 9 hours a night. It really depends. Ripple is almost as bad as a religion. So are some of the cryptocurrencies, to be fair. On my memes, my stream memes. I think it does say in my rules and info, I'm not a financial advisor. All my opinions and suggestions are my own. Yeah, advice taken at your own risk. Blah blah blah. So there you go. It is there. I do wake up and look at eToro. Pretty much 4 a.m. every night. I wake up naturally and check eToro, and then go back to sleep. Sometimes that's only an hour after I've gone to bed. 12. Someone sleeps for 12 hours. Jesus. Jesus coin. eToro is the new Facebook. Yeah, kind of is, isn't it? Square ready to go up. Let's take a look. I'd very much like it if it did. The 4-hour SAR looks pretty healthy. 1 hour looks reasonable. Yeah, it's had a really nice retracement back to this support level, and it doesn't look like it's going to drop any further from here, that's for sure. So yeah, probably a pretty good time to be buying more. But I've already pretty much bought this price anyway. If you look at some of my positions, kind of because of the spread, really. Let's change it back to 4 hour and just see how that lines up. Okay, this one needs to be a little bit higher. That's a pretty healthy buy point, though. You're right. I'm going to buy some more. Buy one more. Done. Thank you for letting me know about that one. IOTA Binance and Bitfinex. So I mentioned Intel earlier. They've already gone up a sizable amount today. They've had a little breakout, which is good, I guess. Seems like it's just generally a bit of a green day for stocks, to be honest. Yeah, so you can see those candles retreated again now. So now actually might be a better time to open that position. Or it might not be, because if you look at this 15 minutes, it's actually going to catch up this way soon. 30 minutes still looking okay though. So maybe not, but it looks like it could just kind of hover at this level. So we probably wouldn't actually make any money. There's not enough reward potential. Because you can see there's actually a support level here as well. So probably it's going to sit around there. Not worth buying unless it goes below it, perhaps. All the supports on here are like perfectly in line with where the lines are for some reason. It does happen sometimes. I say perfectly, it's not quite perfect. It's like a little bit above it. Tesla's still going up as well. They've had a good week, Tesla. Very good week. Look at that. Very strong. It's a shame that the earnings are going to disappoint everyone again and bring it straight back down to this kind of level again. I suspect it might not. It might not. I'll probably keep the positions I've got in it because I don't have that much in there anyway. 3 positions. This one's really small as well. Nat gas, gas, gas. Everyone's screaming about nat gas. How's it looking? It's still there, isn't it? It's just hanging in there. Just about. By the skin of its teeth. Let's full screen this and have a little look-ski. It's still dropping a bit. It's still dropping a little bit. Let's see. Oof, I think it's going to go a bit further. I think it could go below 2.6. I think it could go head down here a little bit and then kind of come back up to this level. Look at that. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Ooh, RSI is pointing out that this is pretty oversold now as well. You know what? Probably time for one position in it. Probably time for one position in it. Do I want to use any leverage though? That's the real question. How much leverage can I? It's pretty wild, so I think I'd rather not actually use any. Done. Done. It's pretty wild. I don't want to use any leverage on it. Come on, Dash. You can do it. I know what's going to happen with Dash. It's the same thing it always does. Flat, 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 boom. That's what's going to happen. I'm calling it. Daily chart doesn't show it very well because it doesn't go flat for long enough. Like, look, boom, flat, boom, flat, boom, flat, boom, flat. Oh, bit of a wibble, boom. We're in a flat bit. When's the next boom? When's the next boom? I think it's going to be about here. It's probably another week, maybe. Another week. I mean, it's you know, it's done fine. Like we've literally just had this boom, really, I guess. But this boom was from lower down. That's kind of abnormal. Normally it sits at the same level before it goes up. And it's done this all the way through its history. You can't see all of it on eToro, but boom flat, yeah. I mean, it's actually just a flag formation, right? It's just like the most common like formation in trading, pretty much. Oh, I thought that was a pen to draw things. I've forgotten how to draw things on this chart. Yeah, like the most common formation is like, oh, this isn't what I want. I need like an arrow or something. Find the arrow. Find the arrow. Where's the arrow? Not in there. Not in there. Not in there. Where's an arrow? Oh, doodle. Here we go. Yeah, so normally it'd go up like that, and then, oh no. Oh, I give up. I give up. I can't do it. Can't do it. Yeah, I should just Google it, shouldn't I? Yeah, there you go. So, not exactly flat, but yes, it's like a flag. It's like someone's taking a flagpole, and they've like, yeah. And normally what happens is it actually just keeps repeating for quite a long time. Yeah, loads of examples of it. That's a really good example. I mean, that's not a flag. That's a triangle. You get ascending triangles and descending triangles. Pennants, yes. People call them pennants. I always called them triangles. And then you get wedges, which is like a triangle, but it doesn't actually like really meet. It's like way more long term. Why dash? Why not dash? I just think Dash has got like the longest way to go out of the cryptos that are available on eToro that are easy to trade, that are like not easy to trade, but you know, and what's on eToro that I can trade, that I'm confident in, that isn't overvalued yet. It's Litecoin and Dash, like the two big ones really. I guess Bitcoin as well. Ethereum's got too much competition coming up. They're going to have a tough year in 2018, I think. They'll still do well, they'll still grow, but Fermi. Yeah, 30 million AUM. Almost. Almost. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Baba. Alibaba. I was watching that yesterday. It was a bit random. Don't know. Some big names taking some money out. Did that happen too recently? Recently there was someone taking a bunch of money out of a company. I can't remember which one it was. One of the directors, I think. Actually, I don't have alarms for prices. I generally rely on stop losses. I have had alarms for prices before, but to be honest, normally it just annoyed me because I'd wake up to one of my alarms on one of the many things every night, and it was just not really worth it. Oh yeah, SQ, that was it. It was Square. Oh, it was the Singles Day figures that came out. I still love that Singles Day is a thing, by the way. That's amazing. I should probably stop streaming. It's like 6 p.m. I need to like do some stuff. Like make those videos that I'm 2 weeks behind on. I need to make those videos. I need to write the Ripple blog. I need to check on all my other cryptocurrencies and see how they're doing because I haven't looked at them for the past day. I need to do other things too, probably, that I can't think of at the moment because I'm really unorganized. A million comments that are impossible to reply to. Let me just bring back up that GIF. I don't think Matt saw the GIF, so if you're still here, Rumblers, you need to see the GIF because it's brilliant. Let me just bring it back up for you guys. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Oh dear. I should just make that my screensaver, really, shouldn't I? Oh, I love it. That little grey guy was all over me. I did. The funny thing is, didn't even read his comment. Don't even know what it was. Yeah, but I've got a lot of stuff to look at on CoinMarketCap. I mean, we can look together if you want through the stuff I own. He says, "How am I doing?" All. Here we go. Or full list, because then it shows us 7 days. Okay, all right. I own some Bitcoin. That's done okay. I own some Ethereum. That's done okay. I have some Litecoin. That's done very well. Some IOTA. Bad week for IOTA. Luckily, cashed out before the week started. Happy about that. Dash, doing good. Cardano, doing very good. NEM, nice week. Bitcoin Gold, I have a tiny bit because it's too small for me to sell it on an exchange, so I've I've just got it, and I'll probably never ever be able to use it because it's a pointless currency. Monero's had a bit of a quiet week. EOS has had an amazing week again. Stellar, good week. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. All of these, all the ones I'm mentioning that I'm not saying like that I don't own it, I own, by the way. So out of all of these top currencies, the only ones I don't own are Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin Gold. I own Monero, I own some EOS, I own some Stellar. I don't have any Neo anymore. Don't have any Ethereum Classic. Do have some Quantum. They've done. That's one I didn't notice actually. So they've had a really good week. So I'm happy about that. Still don't have any Populous. Clearly don't have any BitConnect because I'm not a maniac. Waves has done well. They've just rebranded. What else are we looking at? Lisk has done okay. Tron has done fantastically. I need to do some research on Tron and find out what the deal is there, to be honest. Because I keep hearing, I've heard a few reputable people say that actually it's a pretty good project. So I need to look at Tron and see what it is. OMG, I think, is due for a bigger rally soon. It's been dropping down the top lot for a while. It's kind of been stable price-wise. Stratus don't have any, Tether don't have any, BitShares don't have any, Ardor don't have any, Monocoin don't have any, 8share don't have any, NXT don't have any, Bytecoin don't have any, Steam don't think I have any anymore, or not much at least. Komodo don't have any of that. Decred I have a bit of. I bought some of that at the start of the week, so that's a nice result. Salt has done fine, which I also own some of. Arc, I reduced my position in Arc a bit today and yesterday. Let's see. Augur, looking good. Back up to all-time highs for Augur. Ryblock's the one I've been mentioning a lot recently. I bought some of. Very nice. Happy with that. Binance. I really want to buy some Binance actually, because honestly, I love their exchange. I think they're doing amazingly. So I need to buy some Binance. Good old Electronium, they just released their coins at last. So they started up nice and high, but they are falling quite rapidly at the moment, as you can see. And I think they'll continue to taper downwards for the next few weeks. They actually, turns out, if you did ICO, did go with the ICO with them, you would have made a decent return, to be honest, because, 12 cents it hit. So that's pretty good, actually. You would have made 1,000% on that. Sorry, my bad. Still a bad product though, bad team. Vertcoin don't have any. Very quiet week for that Vertcoin actually. Vertcoin's an okay coin. Nothing special. Siacoin's done decently. Golem's done well. Pivx has done well. Starting to run out the ones I own. Factum is one that I used to own. I don't have any anymore. Status is going to do decent, I think. Basic Attention Token is a bit of a passion project for me. It's just such a big goal. Economy and Monaco are doing okay. Funfair's been doing well. I was told about this one yesterday actually. Datacoin, Streamer. It's basically just an IOTA competitor, but I think IOTA's better, so not too interested in it. I've got a bit of Civic. That's actually gone up for the first time ever. That's been very quiet recently. Da, da, da. Napalm is indeed Liam Davies. I didn't see what he posted, but Liam's better at TA than me, so I just copy when he posts stuff. I just copy it, steal the work, and pretend that I did it. I still don't have any BMC, no. What else? What other projects up here do I actually like? Skycoin is like pie in the sky. I think I mentioned that last stream. What else is up here that I like? ADEX is a pretty cool project. What else do I like that's up here? Loopring, doing reasonable, I suppose. Yeah, we're getting to the lower downs now. First Blood, wow, nice rally for them. They're getting added to Exodus wallet soon, so they're actually a pretty good thing to potentially just flip. Maybe that's why they went up, actually, to be fair. Engine coin. Steam dollars, not to be confused with real Steam. Yeah, let's just have a look and see where SWT is. Still doing nicely, Swarm City. Made a nice 100% or so on that in the past couple of months. Should do well. Should do well. There's just a more complete version of District 0x, and District 0x is way higher. There's a few other ones I've got that are down here somewhere that I haven't looked at. Grillo. Grillo's a cool project. Spank chain. Love a bit of spank chain, don't we? Cool. Well, now that I've randomly just scrolled up and down this list for a bit, I think it's time to head out. So I'll answer this one question because I've just read it. Do you think it's wise to hold positions for crypto stock long term, even if they gain more than 100%, or is it better to take profit on the way? It depends actually on whereabouts it is. Generally speaking, stuff in the top 30 or 40 you can pretty much buy and hold reasonably safely. Below that, there's a lot of pump and dumps going on, so you have to be a bit more careful. It's more worthwhile to take money out of them and trade in other things for a bit. Pillar was pretty well known for a while. They had a pretty big ICO. Cool. Well, I'll let you guys continue chatting to Liam. If you aren't in the Discord yet, you should go into the Discord because Liam basically lives there, as do I. And even a few other people. I think Steve Bliss and Wesley are actually in there now as well. They don't talk quite as often, but they're both on there. So thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you guys on Tuesday, and I'm going to spend this weekend trying to catch up on everything, to be honest, because I'm still so far behind. But yeah. Discord is in the blurb below the video on the stream, so you can see it's like got a Jcoin logo. It says Discord. Below there's a link for the Discord server. And if you play games, then come play some PUBG with me at some point. I might play some tonight, to be honest. So, right, cool. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you all on Tuesday.